Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Janet. I'm the Spider. And this is a Fred Lane Productions podcast.
Hey, Janet, I'm the Spider. I'm the Spider.
No shit, Sherlock.
No, I'm not Sherlock. I'm Ben Riley.
Cue the music.
I don't know what we're yelling about! We came, we saw, we kicked its ass!
Finished. In the dark. Are you telling me you built a time machine? Kind of a DeLorean?
The way I see it, if you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it some style?
Who is this? What's your operating number?
Boring conversation anyway.
Whoa, we're gonna have somebody! Loud noises!
Hello.
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 I'm a Kendall Richardson.
I'm a Fulya and Michael.
And I'm watching the soccer, Australia versus Turkey. Oh, Fulya. Ooh.
Oh, no hard feelings, Fulya, but we won!
Ooh. It's like
Fine.
the opposite of Gallipoli. Woo!
Wow.
Wow, 110 years later, it made up for it, didn't it?
Yep. Put that
You know
in
what?
the bag.
That was going to be my only problem. Which team do I barrack for when they verse each other? And
Yeah.
I guess whoever wins, wins. Because I am both.
So you're happy regardless, so it's okay.
I am happy regardless. It's fine.
Good. That's really good.
But
yes.
I'm a
Go
Michael
Socceroos.
Lister.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And
After that delay.
you're now experiencing a podcast called Fred.
Yes, experience it through the mediums of the interwebs that we have hold dear, and no longer got the VPN on, so it doesn't. The stream won't crash.
Yes. We don't want the
Yes.
stream
My fault.
to crash. It's fine. It's
How
okay. You
dare
figured it out.
I
We fixed it.
I downloaded a new VPN, and why? How come the setting is always start up when you start up the computer? Stupid.
It's silly. Clearly, we need to be we need to be sponsored by some VPN company.
I'm not going to tell you which one. Unless they pay.
Oh, right. yes. Hashtag we want money.
Yes. Capitalism is the bag, baby.
Yeah, capitalism is king.
When am I going to be a trillionaire?
Yeah, I won't talk about
Yeah.
that. Welcome to the show. Let's
Yes.
get into it. The weekly watchings. Fulya, take it away.
Not a lot of watchings. There is something I am watching, but I'm not going to mention it on the podcast because I don't want to. But I have watched, and I have watched the grand finale of Good Omens, the finale episode
Oh,
of Good Omens.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, look, I've been putting it off for a little while, but I finally decided, you know what? Now's the time to watch it. So I watched it. It's very good. I wasn't, like, honestly, I thought this was going to be another season of like a few episodes, but it's just one episode that felt kind of movie length almost. So it did feel quite long in the way that they put it together. But you know what? I'm not mad about it. Like, I mean, in the sense of, it was good. I enjoyed it. And it was a nice little wrap up to the show. Although I will say, the way that it ended, kind of felt like they just decided cut here, cut there in future, and then we're good, we're done. And that's kind of what they did. So they fast forwarded to some time, then they fast forwarded to another time, and I'm like, okay, cool. So it was a happy ending. It was a happy ending, but it was like one of those kind of endings of, okay, it's absolutely 100% done. Don't expect more. Kind of the way that they wanted to end it. But it was still nice to see Aziraphale and Crawley back together and trying to work their shit out, essentially. Seeing how Aziraphale was trying to work through being the supreme archangel and leading a team of other archangels and not doing such a great job of it because he just wants everything to be good and done, in a more sort of positive way rather than going negative and war and violence and all that sort of stuff. So he was trying to do it in a more of a positive spin, but it wasn't working out. And then something happens. There's obviously there was someone in the team of those archangels kind of turns on him. Shit hits the fan. And it's up to Aziraphale and Crawley to figure it out. So but it was kind of like they decided to make this finale episode the kind of like a romance by the end of it. So I was happy about it. Like I was rooting for both of them. So you know what? I'm okay with that. It's totally fine. I just wasn't expecting it to be like a 90-minute episode, like a mini movie essentially.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if they announced that it was going to just be a movie or not, because I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it just went straight to Prime. So TV movie, which, you know what, it kind of worked out in a way. I liked it. It was fun to watch.
Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like, I loved it. I wasn't in love with it highly enough to say this was the best thing ever, the way that they ended it. But it was still good. So
okay,
there is that. One Piece update. Lister, you'll be happy to know I have left Impel Down. They managed to get out through the gates of justice. And they're on their way. Honestly, I was about to cry on certain points and I was like, oh no. But Magellan is a beast. Holy crap. Holy moly, is he a beast of a character?
He's very toxic.
So toxic. In more ways than one. But yeah, it was interesting to see the people that Luffy ended up teaming up with to get out of there, and Ivankov with the giant head and
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! But also, I will say I was sad to find out someone was left behind because they sacrificed themselves. I'm hoping that they survive and they get out of there, but I have no idea if that's going to be the case. But I'll find out later on, I guess. So yeah, great arc, so good. I loved it, and I'm looking forward to more One Piece fun times in the near future. I'm at episode 453, so I'm getting closer to the 500 mark now. So that's been really good. But yeah, that's essentially all I've been doing. Aside from the fact that I'm going to switch over to what I've been playing, because I know we'll be talking about some stuff later on in terms of gaming related news. I finally decided to start playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Ooh.
This is a borrowed copy from my workmate. And I've had it on me for the last couple of months since he gave it to me. And I thought, you know what? I shouldn't hold on to this too much longer. I should probably start playing it. So I've started playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I'm just playing through it more so for the story. And so far, the story is pretty cool, which means I have bumped it down to easy so that the battles don't frustrate me and piss me off, you know. I just want to get through the story. That's all I want.
Yeah, play through the story. Who needs a
Yeah.
Who needs a challenge?
I just want to experience the story. That's all it is. And I hear so many good things about the Final Fantasy VII story, and the fact that now that there is a third installment coming in the form of Revelation, compared to what I would have liked has been Resolve instead of Revelation. You know.
So it's Final Fantasy 7.3.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got point 1. I still got to do Rebirth, which is point 2, and then point 3 is Revelation. So, but that's not coming out until like I think next year or something like that. So I've got time. I've got plenty of time to catch up.
Yeah. Have you played the original at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Never played the original. No. So this is my first experience into Final Fantasy VII. But my first Final Fantasy game was number 16, which was the most recent one that they made back in 2023. Yes, I know.
You need to start from the beginning. No, you don't.
I know Final Fantasy 16 isn't your traditional Final Fantasy game in the sense that it doesn't have the traditional RPG mechanics to it, but I'm okay with that. I loved the story. The story was the best part of that particular game. I really enjoyed it. And that was my first experience in a Final Fantasy game at all. But now I'm actually jumping into what everybody else has been going gaga about. So, yeah. Final Fantasy VII. Pretty cool. Yeah. And that's it for me.
Great. Love that. Thank you for sharing and throwing in a game in there while you're at it. That's excellent. Mike, what have you been watching this week?
Well, probably the same. Not much, really. Nothing to... I usually like to say I've done a series, but I haven't really finished a series, really. I'm just plugging away at certain things because there's a lot to watch now. Thank you, June, for chucking everything, and there's still more to come. But I will say I'm up to date with Vox Machina, and I didn't realize that they were going to drop another 3 episodes. So there's 6 out now.
Yeah, it's 3 every week for 4
God
weeks.
damn it.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm up to date with that. I'm really enjoying it because it does make me remember what the story is, where they're going. It's kind of funny that they can't say Vecna because very obvious reasons. And yeah, we get to meet the quote-unquote baddie for the season. So, well, for the rest of the seasons, if they do another one, which I'm guessing there's probably going to be another one. I'm guessing. Yeah, that's going good. Yeah, One Piece. Well, I'm sort of gone off One Piece. You see, it's getting monotonous is where the story is going.
What do you mean?
I'm joking, of course. I'm up to 1,005 episodes.
Whoa! He's hit the 1,000.
I hit the
1K.
Congratulations.
It's all up, downhill, cross over.
Yeah.
You're almost there.
I'm almost there. And I'm thinking of doing something insane. I could probably catch up by the end of the month if I do 10 episodes on a working day.
Oh,
and
you're
15
upping your episodes.
And 15 on a day to myself. So,
wow.
The fact that you can pull this off with having 2 kids and a wife and a job, I
was like,
hats off.
I could barely do that, and I'm single, living by myself, doing nothing.
I am very tired. Having said that, for some reason, me and the wife are sort of doing a Robin Williams kick. Because we sort of started last week. We watched Lie and Lie for reasons I don't know, and then we decided, make this a double feature. We do the other divorced dad movie from the 90s. We'll do Mrs. Doubtfire. And
Hey.
and Yeah, it's interesting. I do like those movies, and when they came out, because why can't my dad go to these lengths to be with me? Anyway, yeah, so we're on a sort of Robin Williams kick, and we're going to be watching like Robin Williams every so often. And last night was Insomnia, which is aptly named because I fell asleep. So I watched the start, and a little bit of the middle, and the end. I haven't seen the movie before, so I still haven't.
Good.
Even though I know what happens at the end. It's like, oh, okay. I'll just piece together later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Having said that, we watched a movie that my wife hasn't seen, just knows bits of it, but I have. We watched The Birdcage, and such a good movie.
So good.
Watching it nowadays is like, ooh, we haven't really gone that far, have we? A lot of uses of the F slur in this, which I
just a little,
which I sort of balk at. It's like, oh, okay, okay, and the scene where they do the sort of prenup that they do is like this was the gay marriage of the time, and it's like,
yeah,
but how we've gone so far, but still a couple of steps back. Anyway, yeah, that's great. She hasn't seen it. She loved it. Like,
oh, good.
I was like, hey, you gotta watch this bitch. Hank Azaria is fucking hilarious.
So good.
My watermelonness. My natural heat. I love that movie. For a straight man, it's weird. This is the reason why I'm not homophobic, is because I watched this as a kid. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I haven't really been watching much. With my anime, I've been plugging along at Dan. Almost finished the second season of that, and that's going good. You can definitely tell they've studio has changed hands, because it's very different in the arts, a little bit different in the art styles and the performance, but still good, I reckon. Yeah, I haven't really been watching much. I know Game of Thrones Tales of Dragon is out. I haven't seen it yet. I think.
Is House of the Dragon?
House of the Dragon, I think the first episode's out.
I thought that was tomorrow.
I thought it was tomorrow too, but
was it last week?
I think it was like out, like yesterday or something.
They dropped it early.
Yeah.
I'm just double checking.
I've been seeing some bits and pieces, or they're doing like a recap. I can't remember. So yeah,
let's find out.
Maybe I'll put that on the back burner while I do something insane and just watch the rest of One Piece, and that'll just be me for the month. And then I'll have a week off from work because school holidays is coming up. So
sweet.
I want to do that before school holidays. So, and then I'll be up to Elbath and where they are at this present time. So that's me, unless I've forgotten anything else. Maybe.
No, I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah. So what about you, Kendall? Have you forgotten something?
Always. House of the Dragon starts in next weekend.
Okay.
So it'll be Monday the 22nd for us.
Cool.
Which is, I'll be at work, so I'll have to watch it at some point.
At work.
Yeah, at work. Yeah.
That's how I get through my One Piece.
Yeah. Well, speaking of at work, I actually watched some of ER at work this week because I watched a bit of an episode in the morning while I was getting ready, and I didn't have time to finish the whole episode, and then I finished it on lunch, and the point where I stopped it was literally just after one of the doctors got assaulted in the bathroom, like physically assaulted, like beat up, and I was like, well, that's a good cliffhanger for me to stop. I'm glad I kept watching that extra 5 minutes. I should have stopped it. But yeah, still going with ER. I'm nearly at the end of season 3 now, which is cool. And and there was a random episode I watched the other day, which was it was like a one location sort of episode, where one of the nurses who had been suspended for admitting to a mistake she'd made that cost someone's life, and the hospital didn't want to pursue any action because he was a homeless man. And she was like, nah. So she basically went out of her way to get suspended because she talked to the press, and they were like, well, fuck you. But anyway, she's suspended, and she goes to her local convenience store, and it happens to get robbed. And one of the robbers was a young Ewan McGregor. And I was just like, hot damn, okay. And then I checked the dates. I'm like, this is like 9 months after Trainspotting comes out, so like he's on the up at this point. It's just before he starts doing Star Wars. So, and it was great. Like, he got to be his fully Scottish self, and he played a really complicated character for like just one 45-minute episode. Like, he started off as sort of the villain, and then kind of became sympathetic and bonded with the nurse because, you know, she was trying to help save everybody, and there was obviously people who had been wounded by gunfire and all this. And yeah, it was a really good episode. So I was just like, holy fuck, Ewan McGregor's in this. This is nuts. So that was cool. I have watched some of Vox Machina based on your recommendation, Mike, because you said last week you were looking forward to my thoughts, and I found the time only just to watch the first 3 episodes, so I'm not up to date. But yeah, I'm curious to ask you, because I remember you saying something about there was a certain character that didn't feel the same, or maybe they were acting out of character. Am I remembering that correctly?
Well, it's a new character being introduced, and that was Terry.
Tarian, or whatever his name
Tarian
is.
Darrington.
Tarian Darrington. I actually adore him. I mean, he's the worst, but he's so funny, and he's voiced by Wayne Brady, so I'm not going to complain for his presence on this show. I just thought he was very funny, and the way he has his like little robot that he built, and he's like, jot this down, and like he starts regaling stories.
Dottie,
and
take this down.
Yeah, Dottie, take this down. And then
Terry.
I just love how he calls Vox Machina by different names. Well, first he calls them Vox Machina, which is what I used to call them before I was aware of this whole thing. So
it's
it's Machina.
It's like
Machina.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Yeah, Hermione, literally. It's the same thing. And then, like, I just love that he keeps saying Spike and Greg instead of Pike and Grog, and that's just comedy gold to me. Yeah, I really like him, and I'm curious to see where his involvement, where it goes, especially because at the end of episode 3, they discover that they need to go to his home village or hometown or whatever to investigate the Children of Truth or whatever they're called. Yeah, because that was pretty harrowing. It's been a really good start to season 4, I will say. I really enjoyed the first couple episodes, and how, like, even though the team split off, like, their storylines are sort of paralleling each other, and they're still connected to the main, like, the overarching story as well. Yeah, and just the animation is just a welcome to see again. Like, I love the animation style they use, and when they choose to use more of a 3D rendering as opposed to a 2D, with some of the big creatures and stuff, like how they used to do the dragons of the Chroma Conclave. Now they've got that big abomination with all its teeth and its wings and shit. Like, that looked really cool. That was scary. And then the fact that, like, you know, this is a foe that can't be killed is also really interesting. Like, they keep coming back to life. So, yeah. No, I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I'm curious to see where it's going. And where the fuck is Scanlan? Because, like, he wasn't mentioned in the first 2 episodes at all, no mention. And then they get to, you know, the big Ashari ritual with Keyleth, and they finally say, where's Scanlan? He was invited, wasn't he? And they don't know where he is. So I'm hoping in the next 3 episodes we find out. Because we know at the end of season 3 he goes off with his daughter and tries to reconnect with her. So yeah, I hope he's okay, and I hope he's just drunk and having fun. You know, that's what I hope for him. Mike's making faces, and
No, no.
I'm a little scared. Okay.
I'm a little scared myself. Because they did say that it's these last couple of seasons, maybe episodes, I can't. There's probably going to be another season, maybe, but certain things happen that don't sort of add up to one for one of what happens on the board. So stuff might happen. And there was also some behind the scenes sort of stuff that was unavoidable as well.
Okay.
Because in the show, in the game, Sam Riegel, Scanlon decided to back up and leave and venture off with his daughter Scanlon, and then this character came in, also played by Sam. So Tarrington Darrington was actually played by Sam Riegel in the game. So essentially they changed over, and then eventually stuff happens.
Okay.
Yeah. And behind, how much can I divulge? Behind the scenes, it was a couple of years ago. The reason why they had sort of like a hiatus between season 4 and this one, season 4 and season 3, is because that Sam unfortunately was diagnosed with throat cancer. And yeah, and it sort of happened while they were doing campaign 3, and because they weren't sure what was going to happen, so essentially he had to stop playing, and he sort of had on the back burner of what would happen with that, and so I suppose they sort of stepped back. Sam sort of stepped back and say, "Okay, I'm not sure if I'm going to be recovered in time to actually do the voice, because he with his first like video back, he didn't sound the same. He was still in recovery and all that, and he's all right now. So happy.
Well, that's good. He's
happy.
okay.
But
Good.
I think the decision to actually get someone else to play Terry was probably a good thing, and getting Wayne Brady is also a plus. But that story-wise may affect the rest of Vox Machina, which is interesting because essentially it was in the first couple of episodes that Percy and Voxalia were together, and they had. I can't remember if they got married. They got married in the show, right?
I think
They mentioned
so.
that?
I think so. Like they implied that, like, that Vex is like the lady of Whitestone or whatever.
Yeah.
So
tentative spoiler for the next 3 episodes, but
it's fine.
Essentially, their wedding actually took place after the campaign. And story-wise, I'm a bit worried why they did that, because there was a certain aspect that I really enjoyed at the end of that one shot where where they're all dressed up with a wedding and all that, but shit happened, and then at the end they sort of exchange vows, and something happened, and I'll probably have to explain to it later on down the track, maybe. But I am quite concerned and worried and puzzled why they did that and have the wedding like before this season. It is interesting. So, sorry.
Oh, that's fine. You're providing interesting context. The fact that they're either doing things out of order and also doing things in the show that didn't happen in the campaign is also really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm mostly worried for Vax, considering his situation with the matron seems to just be getting worse and worse, and like whatever the blight or whatever that's taking him over is killing him, and that's probably going to happen soon. And then like the massive foreboding warning from the matron in episode 3, just before the big battle, was like, oh, foreboding, very foreboding. But it's okay. They're not going to kill. Surely they won't kill Percy again, because I do not wish or care for to go through what happened last season with him, because I cried way too much.
Okay.
So hopefully they don't kill him again. But anyway, it's based on a D&D campaign, so anything's possible.
Essentially, everyone at this point has died and come back.
Yeah, most of them have. Yeah,
and there was one bit
true.
where Keyleth, it was insane. She died from jumping off a cliff because there's a big body of water, and so I'll make it. Unfortunately, it's not a direct going down. It was more so she basically hit the rocks all the way down and died, and so they had to recover.
Oh boy!
So D&D, it's crazy.
D&D, it's a crazy,
but with a narrative story. Yeah.
Speaking of D&D, I started watching a YouTube series that is D&D, and it's by a group called Natural Six. It's actually pretty fun. But
Nice.
of course, the main reason why I jumped into it, which no surprise to anyone, is because Ben Starr is in it.
Well, I was like this close to asking, is Ben Starr part of this? Of course, of course.
He played.
I
So
love that.
I started their first campaign, which is long by now finished, because they do like 1.5 hour episodes of these campaigns, and my gosh, is it awesome. Like, they've got like these really awesome British voice actors to be part of this particular campaign, and the story's already like really going crazy with all these different fantasy characters, and I love their backstories and all that. And then every time they go to roll dice, they're trying to get a natural 6, because that's the title of their group, and they go crazy whenever someone gets a natural 6, but they also go crazy when people get natural 20s. So, and the story's been quite humorous. I've been really enjoying it, but I've only watched like 2 of the videos so far in that series, and I kind of like it, so I'm gonna keep watching it.
That's the same as
Cool.
Mighty Nine. 9.
Yeah.
Everyone says 9.
I have one more thing I wanted to mention. I finally watched a very iconic film this week, and that is a movie called Heat with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. It's came out in the mid-90s. It's like basically a cat and mouse, cops versus robbers sort of story. And it's nearly 3 hours long. It's a long movie, so one of the reasons why I hadn't watched it for a while. But yeah, Val Kilmer is also in it. John Voight, Tom Sizemore, Ashley Judd, Amy Brenneman, Michael T. Williamson, Ted Levine, Wes Studi, like Dennis Haysbert. It's got a great cast. Natalie Portman as well. Speaking of Hank Azaria is also in this. Yeah, it was a really good movie. Like, just, I've seen a lot of, well, not a lot of cop dramas and stuff, but I've seen my decent amount, I guess. Fair share. But this was just incredible. So Michael Mann directed and wrote this, and I just De Niro plays a bad guy, right? And he doesn't really play bad guys all the time. Like, he obviously does. Pacino's also no stranger to playing bad guys, but he gets to play the detective here, the cop. But I just was fascinated by these two characters and the way, the cops are trying to catch the robbers, and then the robbers realize that they're being, chased by the cops. They've got heat on them. And so it just becomes this back and forth sort of thing. And one of the most famous scenes in the film, which I was aware of long before I watched it, because this movie is actually, and this is it's typical me just to mention this, but this movie is Tom Hiddleston's favorite movie. And as I was watching De Niro's performance, I'm like, I can see a lot of Tom's performance, like his skill, kind of taken from De Niro, I think, in the way he acts. But there's this very famously in Graham Norton, Tom Hiddleston did an impression of Pacino and De Niro. He recreated the scene because he knows the dialogue word for word, and he did it in front of Robert De Niro on Graham Norton. It's a very funny, very cool interview clip. I would recommend you guys check it out. But like, so I was aware for the longest time that this is his favorite, and then the scene comes on, and I'm like, wow, like it's just these two powerhouse actors just fucking. It's like and even Tom says it's like a game of tennis. Like they're just back. It's just, oh my god, and like they're both the same, two sides of the same coin as well. Like the way the movie sets them up is like, you know, they both have their issues outside of the role that they're playing in the film. You know, like troubled relationships and just they're just kind of really complicated people. And like Pacino's not the best. Like he's probably the best cop in the film, but in terms of like his personality and the way he carries himself and stuff, like his job comes before everything else to the expense of his marriage. And then like, you know, De Niro meets someone and wants to have a life with her, but then he keeps getting pulled back into he wants to be pulled back into, because he's like, I have to do it. And so when you meet these two actors in this scene, and they're just two men, that one just happens to be a cop, one just happens to be a robber, you could literally flip them and it would be the same. Like the way that they talk at each other, and just saying that, like, you know, I'm gonna do my job and I'm gonna do mine, and one of us is gonna get out alive, and they accept it. They accept that when it comes to it, one of them will probably die, and they don't change their course, and it's just masterful. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So I need to watch more of their older films. Like I've never seen The Godfather or anything, so and they're obviously both in that. But I haven't delved into that. So it's on IMDb's top movies. It's ranked 101, and they're top 250. But I don't think it won any awards, which is kind of strange. I'm just double checking. Yeah, that's really weird. It didn't get any. It got like no Oscar attention. So that's, anyway, I feel like in hindsight, that's poor judgment choice. But anyway, highly recommend watching Heat. It's on Netflix at the moment, but it's leaving soon, which is why we watched it at the end of the month. So if you're keen to see just a powerhouse of acting on display, check it out for sure. All right, that's my weekly watchings, which means it's time for the nerdy news.
This is the news, the nerdy news. The nerds that talk about the nerdy news. That is us who talk about the news that is nerdy. And now the queen of nerdydom, the hostess with mostest, Kendall Richardson. Take it away, Kendall.
Okay, it's nerdy news time. And we're going to start things off with some terrible news, really. News that I should say I'm not entirely surprised, to be honest. We've talked about it previously, you know, but now we have confirmation that Doctor Who is taking a break, taking a hiatus. There will be no Christmas special. It has been cancelled. A mutual decision was made by the BBC and Russell T Davies and Bad Wolf to just put an end to it, which likely means that there will never be a resolution to the, as we talked about previously, the Rose Tyler Billy Piper situation,
or the boss. Who the boss is?
Who the boss? Yeah. Oh yes.
Or Susan.
Yep. It's okay, Mike. Just keep it.
It's not like Doctor Who's ever done this before. leaving threads like out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. Yes, it's gonna be tough. At this point, they're saying, it could be a minimum of 2 more years at least until we see Doctor Who back on screens. 2028 is the earliest projected return. The BBC is doing what they're calling putting it out to tender, which means they are, now that Bad Wolf is not involved, they are going, anyone else want to take a stab at Doctor Who? You're welcome to.
Taking it out the pasture.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate and really sad. I actually learnt about it first from the Russell T Davies Instagram post, which I was a bit like confused about because the way he wrote everything, it just looked very like, I don't know, unless he's just a bit aloof, because maybe he is, because he's, you know, he's a creative and all of us are a bit aloof at some point. But his statement on Instagram, accompanied by a hand-drawn illustration of the TARDIS, and he said, "And so goodbye from me to Doctor Who, but hello to a big new future for the show. As the BBC announces, it's putting the show out to tender. As a result, there won't be a Christmas special. We only cooked that up to guarantee a future when no one knew what would happen, but now we do know. There's no need for it. You'll have to wait a bit longer for new Doctor Who, but you'll be waiting for more Doctor Who than a one-off. So it's worth it. For the record, there was no script. I never wrote it, and no actor was ever approached to play the next Doctor. You may disagree, fine, sit in that chair and wait to be proved right. You'll wait a long time. Now I'm as excited as anyone to see what comes next. Will they keep the theme tune? Will they lose the blue box? Will they bring back the Draven? It's all up for grabs, which is so Doctor Who, exciting and unpredictable and new. Here comes the future, Vorp, Vorp." Yeah, I don't want to read too much into it, but I kind of felt a little bitterness in that statement, just a little bit. I don't know, but the word is it was a mutual exit. I don't know. It was also previously reported that Russell T Davies had written a script or had at least began work on one. So interesting to see that he's now just saying, I never wrote anything, and that they only announced a Christmas special to kind of try and lock in a future of the show, a continuation. So that's also kind of shitty. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I'm as a new Who fan, new Who fan. Yeah, it's all very sad. You know, like I think from the end of that episode where they showed Rose Tyler's face and then Shruti Gatwa leaving, that was just the beginning of the unfortunate end here. And yeah, it really sucks that we're not getting a Christmas special this year, and we don't know when Doctor Who's coming back and who's going to be the Doctor and what that's going to look like. So yeah, I'm sad and frustrated, but hey, we've still got our watches. You know, we're coming into Capaldi era with our popcorn culture. So
I feel like by the time we finish off our watch through of the series with you, we still won't have anything.
Don't say that. I thought you were going to say we'll have news by then. Hopefully.
There's always the classic Who.
There is always classic Who. We could go
You know
back
what?
and do some
You know what,
Who.
Lister? I've been very close and curious to wanting to start watching through the classics.
There's time now.
Well, now I know where I can get the DVDs.
Yes. Indeed you do. Yeah, so it's all a big mess, and yeah, I'm looking forward to what you guys have to say. So Fulya, tell us your thoughts on the current situation with Doctor Who.
Yeah, look, I am pretty disappointed to find out that we're not going to be getting this Christmas special, and hearing the news that, you know, Russell T Davies is out and done with the series. I'm sad. I'm upset. Like we've been left with such a cliffhanger that now we won't know what's going to happen next until who knows when, because they've still got to find a new writer. They got to find a new showrunner. They got to find a new like a new doctor. Like they've got so many new things they have to find now. So they've got their work cut out for them. But depending and knowing and because of that reason, now as the audience, we're suffering the consequences of having to wait longer for a resolution to what we've just seen, and we won't be getting anything during the holiday period. So it is quite upsetting to see this. So I mean, like it's just up to BBC to find the right people. Now we're just depending on how long that's going to take them. But I feel like no one really wants to. I don't know. There might be people out there who want to take a stab at it, but I have not heard any kind of inkling of who has put their hand up for these roles at all. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of news we get out of it in the near future, hopefully. But yeah, it's going to be sad to not have something to watch over the Christmas New Year period.
So I was gonna just add, because there's Deadline is a pretty reliable source, and they put out a few articles, and there was one in that one article there was like a sub line that said you'd have to be mad to make Doctor Who, and it's the kind of articles about just who, if they're putting it out to tender, who's gonna want to take it up, and people at the BBC are not very confident in anything, given the way this has gone, and the Disney deal falling through and stuff, and apparently one top producer said you'd have to be mad to take on the show. It's a bit of a nightmare for any producer in this market with the shadow of the Disney fallout. It's hard to see another major US studio replacing Disney, so the budget would be hard to get above $4 million US per episode, or £3 million, without significant co-pro or insane investment from the distribution, which is BBC, of course, which they will struggle to recoup on sales. So it's an uphill battle, sadly.
Yeah. That is quite unfortunate, but yeah, I guess if we don't find any kind of if we don't get any news soon, here's the thing, I don't know what so Michael, you'll definitely have more to say about this than I do. I don't know what happened in the time between the classic Who ending before the new Who sort of franchise started, but if that's how long it's going to be before we find out what the next part of this series is going to be, that is going to be a long wait. But at the same time, it could also be the end of an era completely. Maybe this is how Doctor Who ends up ending. Who knows? If they don't find anyone, especially in this kind of market, if they don't find anyone soon, there is a high possibility that they might just cancel the show completely.
I mean, maybe.
And especially since you mentioned what the budget's like per episode for this show, where are they going to find that kind of money to be able to produce this show? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, look, and we've got another 7 years until the next anniversary. So even if it does come back before then, great. But I mean, I would hope at the very minimum the BBC get off their asses and find some money and make a 70th anniversary in 2033. But we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
wait a bit. Or is it 80th? No, 70th. 70th, 80th, 70th. Yes. Anyway, enough from us, Mike. We both, I can speak for Fulya. We both really want to hear your thoughts on this, especially because you've kind of been through this before with as Fulya just mentioned, the transition from classic Who to new Who, and that void of nothing except the Paul McGann movie, really. Tell us how you're feeling about this whole thing.
I'm not that old. It was cancelled the year I was born, so
okay, yeah.
And you're right. There was the Paul McGann telly movie that was supposedly a pilot for an American offshoot, which didn't come into fruition. And then in 2005, when the revival came. So, had to wait 16 years. So...
That's a long wait.
That is a long wait. But Big Finish started... When did it start? I think it started in 2003. So only a couple of years before. So
Okay.
Actually no, sorry, 99. Way off. Sorry. Yeah, and that was just a flash in the pan. It's like see what happens, sort of thing. So that's been going on and still going on. So there's always catch up there. If you want to listen to licensed Doctor Who, but not necessarily canonical Doctor Who. But when has Doctor Who ever been canonical? Yeah, it's sad that I be living through another hiatus of Doctor Who, and I think a lot of people are probably thinking it'll probably just need to be reset and to be doing something else, like original classic Doctor Who were serialized stories where it was just half an hour of a story, and that could take up to 6 episodes or something insane like 12, and because that's what TV was back then, and by the time that it was getting a bit formulaic and no one really wanted to do it anymore, so because Doctor Who is very expensive, and considering the BBC is kind of like ABC here, it's publicly funded, publicly owned, and so there's not much leeway when it comes to money going into something that is that expensive. And after doing the Disney stuff, because that's where all the money came in to do these two seasons and then out, it's going to be difficult for people to say, hey, how come it doesn't look like this anymore? It's like, well, this sort of stuff had to fall down the leeway. And being a Doctor Who fan, I don't mind that, because I don't mind my Doctor Who being a little bit shit, and and not necessarily as he could have done. How come the effects don't look that much? It's fine. It's Doctor Who. Because I always had I always had a problem with the Disney stuff, because I had a problem with Doctor Who being in 4K. You know what I mean? A bit too crystal clear for me.
I remember you saying that when we
Yeah.
were reviewing the Disney episodes and how good a lot of the CGI was. Yeah.
It was too good for Michael.
Doctor Who has always been campy and bit
Yeah.
you know, a bit along the wayside of like simple stories with simple premises and plots and that. And they still had that. It's just the effects were high and above, and then it sort of affected people think, the stories didn't really reach that sort of pinnacle. It was like, we're going to do this, and then the second season of the Disney era sort of went nuts, and they threw everything at the wall just to keep things going. There's Arani. There's Rassilon. There's Susan. There's like all these sort of deep cuts to original Doctor Who, but it didn't really go anywhere, or even had its existence sort of justified. I mean, and essentially that's what the Billy Piper thing was, sort of a Hail Mary. It's like, we need to get something so people would be more excited, and then I think it was just pretty much a stunt casting sort of thing. It's like maybe something would happen, but we don't know, and at the moment it's just maybe we just need to step back a bit. I mean, I sort of was like that at the end of the season. It's like we need to step back, recuperate, and now that's going to be absolutely no one at the moment is being part of it. So we can just start from square one, and that's going to be a difficult uphill battle to do, but it's not impossible because there is still a fan base out there, and we've been through this before. And if you don't like it, well, people say, "Oh, it got cancelled because it's woke." No, it's always been like that, and it'll just be around and just be like it'll vacate back to the basement where it should be, and just humble success basically. I don't think Doctor Who is up there with like Star Wars or Star Trek or anything like that, or even Buffy for that matter. I mean, they're sort of a bit on par at the same as like the Whedonverse, as it were, of it being it's fun loving. We go back to watching like episodes and all that. It's like yeah. So yeah, I will say. There's only one person who is sort of applauding, and I'll just do a little soundbite here.
For that to become a reality.
Sack Russell T. Davis, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back.
So we could get Christopher Eccleston back.
I'm okay with this. If this is a consequence of this hiatus, this change, bring back the Ninth Doctor. I'm with it.
Because a couple of years ago he came back to do sort of the audio dramas as well. So, and David Tennant's always going to be around. So,
yeah. Wow.
Probably a hard sell is probably Peter Capaldi because he hasn't really have much interest in coming back because he doesn't feel that
bold into it.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Okay.
I got a picture of him. I'm fine. I've got a picture with him. It's like I'm good. And I can't wait to talk about it when we do our our Talking Who's. But that's all right. So
we'll get there.
Hiatus it is. Make your own stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, what's something we can fill our Doctor Who void with? I know. Video games.
Video games.
Yay!
Video games. Another big week of gaming news has occurred, and we've got two major events to discuss. We've got the Nintendo Direct. We've got the Xbox Showcase. Lots of sick games announced. I'm just going to throw straight to Fulya, who is going to be amazing and cover all these. The only thing I know from any of it, really, is the Ocarina of Time remake, which I was like, that's pretty fucking sick. And I'm sure you guys are very excited about it, so I just want to hear what you both have to say. So, Fulya, you want to start with the Nintendo Direct and take us through it?
Sure. We'll start off with the Nintendo Direct. We'll work our way backwards from there. So yes, the last announcements of the Nintendo Direct, the big reveal, and I'm sure Michael will be very excited that The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is getting a remake for the Switch. And that is pretty epic, coming from the was it Nintendo 64 when it first was released. And yeah, it's got one hell of a glow up. It looks very, very cool in terms of its art style and the way that everything's sort of 3D. And a lot of people are so excited about it that they cried in shock and surprise when this was announced, because the first image you see when this trailer started was like a tapestry of the
Hyrule.
Of Hyrule. So
the castle Hyrule.
and that's what immediately had everybody clicking, like, oh my gosh, is this a new Zelda game or whatever? And then
I knew which game it was when we heard the
Yeah, the ocarina.
That is ingrained into my soul.
So, yeah, a lot of Zelda fans are absolutely hyped for the remake of this game, and it looks like it's going to be pretty good, but there's going to be a bit of a wait because it's not coming anytime soon. So,
This year.
Well, it could be delayed. We never know. They didn't necessarily say a specific date, right?
No.
But there's a possibility if they do mention a date, it might be in November, and that's probably the only game that can contend against GTA. And I am telling you, that is the only game that can contend with GTA 6 right now. Because every other game that's being announced lately are avoiding November. They're all avoiding November. There's a slew of games coming out in September, and especially to the later half of September. And then there are some games coming out in October, but nobody wants to touch November.
That seems pretty reasonable. And because I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming out,
Yes.
right? So yeah,
GTA 6 is coming out in November. I think it's like November, what is it, 14 or 15 or something like that?
Like
sort of mid-November.
Like mid-November. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a game that did announce that there was going to come out in November, but I forgot what it was, and I don't even think it's a AAA game either. I think it might be like a second or a third party game. But yeah, in terms of other games that got announced at the Nintendo Direct, Kingdom Hearts Collection 1 to 3 will be coming to Nintendo Switch. That includes the HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, the 2.8 final chapter prologue, and Kingdom Hearts 3 plus Remind DLC. So you're going to get all of that in one whole collection. Be not just coming to Switch, but other platforms too. But also, they revealed that Kingdom Hearts 4 is in the works. And a lot of people lost their ever-loving minds about this, especially all those Kingdom Hearts fans, because it's been rumored, but there was no sort of like confirmation that anything was happening with Kingdom Hearts 4. So a lot of people thought that it was being left to the wayside and not being touched. But Square Enix has revealed they're working on the 4th installment to the Kingdom Hearts series, and it will be available at launch on the Nintendo Switch 2, including other platforms. So it's not like it's coming to other platforms first and then to Nintendo Switch 2. No, you're getting it day one with every other platform that's getting it as well. So big excitement for a lot of fans of Kingdom Hearts. Another big reveal. We are returning to Woohoo Island in the form of Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. And for those of you who don't know, the Wii U Sports Resort was a big thing. Wii Sports Resort. I don't think I ever played the resort version. I think I only ever played just the original Wii Sports. But a lot of people are very excited for Sports Resort, and they're doing a new sort of entry into the series for the Nintendo Switch 2 exclusively. So not available on regular Nintendo Switch, unfortunately. It'll be available on Switch 2. But some of the sports that will be in this particular game will include boxing, table tennis, archery, tennis, volleyball, bowling, basketball, golf, and a new sport, thumb wrestling. Which, in the Direct, they did like a little fight, like a 3 to 5 minute slot of the main host of the Nintendo Direct playing thumb wrestling. And my gosh, was it very daggy, but it was hilarious. So yeah, look forward to Nintendo Switch Sports Resort coming to Nintendo Switch 2 on October the 22nd. We've got extra Nintendo exclusive games that have been announced. So Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 are getting Switch 2 editions of those games, which are now available to be played right now. So you can actually buy them on the eShop if you choose to. But if you've already got the original cartridges from the Nintendo Switch, I believe there will be a Switch 2 upgrade fee. So it won't be as much as buying a whole new game. It'll just be a small pack. But I think it's also going to be available. I could be wrong, but there's a possibility it will be available as part of your expansion pack if you have the expansion pack membership of NSO. So yeah, there you go. Xenoblade Chronicles is getting the Switch 2 treatment. But at the same time, they also announced that there is a new series of Xenoblade coming, Xenoblade Genesis, which will be available on the Nintendo Switch 2 coming in 2027. So no specific release date, but they're aiming for next year to release this game. And I believe this kicks off a new story franchise to Xenoblade. So instead of it being a Chronicles, it is now Genesis. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Pokemon Pocopia's got a free update and some paid DLC on the way. The free update is already available for people who already own the game, but there will be some paid DLC coming out. They've got 3 waves in the works. The first wave, I think, is coming later this year, and then there'll be 2 more coming out next year. So good eats for the Pokemon Pocopia fans out there. In this particular DLC, you get to go underwater and you get to find Pokemon in the sea. You get to build and decorate and all that sort of stuff under there, and that looks really, really cool. So I'm going to have to get my butt back into gear and jump back into that game because I haven't really played too much of it, but that's all good. Fire Emblem Fortunes, we've got a bit of an update as well. It'll be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 system, and there's some new content that came through in that, and it'll be released on September the 17th, and pre-orders are available now on the Nintendo eShop. Should also be available at your local retailer as well, so go check that out. Nintendo Switch Online got a bit of an announcement for players on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. There is DK challenges now. So for those of you who are Donkey Kong fans, you can now play, especially if you have NSO, Donkey Kong challenges. So if you have the single pack, you will get the retro versions of these challenges in the form of you get dropped into the particular level and you have to complete these challenges according to what the rule set is. And that's actually pretty cool. But they've also announced Donkey Kong Bonanza challenge as well. So if you're doing the retro ones, you can also do, if you own the game, of course, Donkey Kong Bonanza challenges. But from what I've heard of other people playing it, to complete those Donkey Kong Bonanza challenges, you don't actually get dropped into the point where you're supposed to do the challenge. It makes you go through that whole level, which is a little bit annoying, I would say. But depending on what the challenge is, it might actually be a bit more beneficial. So DK challenges, have fun with that, Donkey Kong friends. And yeah, there's a lot of other announcements that I could go on about in terms of the Nintendo Direct. Final Fantasy Resonance will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 as well, and Nintendo Switch. So it's not just exclusive to the Switch 2. It'll be available for the Switch in October, on the 22nd of October. Final Fantasy Resonance will be available to play. And I think there might be the Lister. Get ready for this. There was one game that I was particularly excited about, and I lost my ever-loving mind when this announced. And there is footage to show that I actually did lose my mind because I reacted to this. There's a new game coming to Switch, to the Switch and Switch 2. So you'll be able to play it, Lister, if you choose to, of course. One Piece Grand Gourmet is coming. I am so excited. You have no idea. I literally yelped when I saw this. I'm like, oh my gosh, One Piece. We have a One Piece game. It's a cooking game, by the way.
It's not a fighting game.
No, it's a cooking game.
So you're just playing as Sanji the whole time then? Or?
Yep.
Nice.
You are playing as Sanji, cooking up meals for not only the Straw Hat crew, for a ton of different characters as well as enemies.
There's 1,000 characters that they can pull from.
Yeah,
so.
and it's in a pixel graphic art style. It looks adorable. I love it. Very colorful as well. I am looking forward to it. The reveal, honestly, I knew instantly the reveal. They showed the dish, and then they started panning up to the person who was serving this dish. The moment I saw the rest of that suit, I was like, oh my God, it's Sanji. This is a One Piece game. Holy crap.
It's curly eyebrow. I see his curly eyebrows.
It's curly eyebrow. Oh man, I am super excited for One Piece Grand Gourmet, as you can tell. But yes, there's a lot happening. If you want to find out more, this was a 1 and a bit hours of direct for Nintendo. So this went over 60 minutes, and there's so much that they announced in this. So I would highly recommend you go to the Nintendo website and check out the announcements from that Nintendo Direct, because as soon as the Nintendo Direct ended, they did a Treehouse Live, which is like they do sit downs and interviews with people like the developers about certain games that are coming to the Switch, and they go into a bit more of the gameplay and they show off some gameplay as well. So if you're interested in watching that as well, you can. But yeah, Nintendo Direct, huge, massive. All right, on with the other big showcase that happened. Xbox in capitals, by the way. This was a pretty big and pretty good showcase, and I'm saying this as not a big Xbox fan myself or gamer. I do own an Xbox, but I don't use it for very much in terms of like the bigger games. However, this was a pretty good showcase. There was so much revealed, including gameplay footage and story about Gears of War E-Day. I think that was the biggest announcement. It is an Xbox console exclusive game. It won't be going to any other console. Gears of War E-Day will be an Xbox console exclusive. So that was one big announcement they had. Another big announcement they also had, which is also another Xbox console exclusive, Clockwork Revolution, which is a steampunky sort of a game that's kind of looks sort of similar to a BioShock game. So they've got that. And of course, that's also going to be a Xbox console exclusive. So they were the two. But the rest of them will most likely be coming to other platforms. They announced Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Halo Campaign Evolved will also be available. Fable will be available as well. Fable had a bit of an update trailer here. It was pretty big. New Senua game. So it's no longer known as Hellblade, Senua's Saga, or whatever. It is now just Senua, because you're actually going to be doing some form of battle. You're going to be fighting as Senua in the games, rather than just sort of, I don't know what it was. I've never played it, but like it was more of a kind of a walking sim thriller horror thing. But yeah, now you're getting a bit more. They're doing a bit more, and they've dropped the Hellblade title, and now it's just Senua. So that's coming. They also revealed a new Spyro game's in the works, and that is called A Realm Beyond. Yes. So Spyro fans, that little purple dragon is back.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So look forward to that. I'm not quite sure when exactly that will be coming to Xbox and other consoles. I believe, hold on, I think I just came across a spring 2027. So that's going to be our autumn. So early next year. So that is coming. Yeah, they've got, what else have they got? Oh, they announced that there is a 25th anniversary Xbox that will be available to purchase in the form of an Xbox Series X25 is what they're calling it. They revealed it. It is essentially a green Series X with a green controller, but it's transparent because it's a callback to the original Xbox from back in the day.
Of course.
Back when
Yes.
everything was transparent.
Yeah. So I'd say this is definitely going to be one of those limited edition kind of consoles. And they probably won't be making very many of those. And it's probably going to cost a lot more than the original. Yeah. So that'll be coming out. I don't know if they've actually given us a date for it. However, the people who were in the room for the Xbox showcase was told that they were all going to get one of these consoles each. Like a bit of an Oprah thing. You get an Xbox. You get an Xbox. Everybody gets an Xbox. So if you were in the room, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks pretty cool, I will say. It looks nicer than what the black box looks, to be honest. Like it's because it's transparent and it's green, it's a different color. It looks really cool. Honestly, if they sell the controller on its own, I might be tempted. Not that I was.
Cool.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. Not that I'm. I think the first Xbox I had was a 360. I never started with the original, so
Same.
But just the way that it looks, like the controller looks pretty sick. I kind of like it. Yeah, I do like that kind of look to it. But yeah, there's so much more that's coming. Crazy Taxi's getting a new game. Crazy Taxi World Tour. I've never heard of this game before, aside from one of my team members at Carpool Gaming has mentioned playing Crazy Taxi quite a bit back in the day. And as soon as they announced that there's a new Crazy Taxi coming, of course, they were very, very excited. So yeah, that's actually quite funny. And they had like Alien Ant Farm music going, and obviously anybody who was streaming that probably got copyright strikes. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Big reveal from the makers of the Persona games. Persona 6 in the works. That's coming as well. They revealed it. It's in green. Because the labels for a lot of the Persona games has a specific color, and I think 4 was yellow and 5 was red. Now they've got 6, and 6 is green. So that's pretty cool. So that's on the way as well. But yeah, there's a lot of other announcements here from the Xbox Game Showcase. If you want to go check them out, jump on over to the Xbox Wire, I guess. Go to their website or do a quick Google search, and you'll definitely see all of the announcements that have come out from the Xbox Game Showcase and, of course, the Nintendo Direct. Is there anything from any of these games that have been mentioned, or maybe something I didn't mention, that either of you are looking forward to or excited about?
I mean, Spyro excites me. I played it a little bit as a kid. Not too much, because was it on PlayStation, or was it on a Nintendo? I can't remember. How was Spyro?
PlayStation.
Spyro was on. It was PlayStation, wasn't it?
PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah. So, forgive me if I zoned out. Is it going to be? Are all these games Xbox exclusive, or are they going to be like?
No.
Okay.
So the only exclusive Xbox games will be Gears of War E-Day and Clockwork Revolution. They're the only two exclusive to the Xbox console.
Okay. Nice.
Everything else will most likely be available cross-platform, like either
Sweet.
PlayStation, PC Game Pass, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Well, we'll probably be getting a PS5 at some point this year because of Grand Theft Auto coming out later in the year. So yeah, maybe I'll check Spyro out.
So what? You're getting a PlayStation before Grand Theft Auto 5? Is that the meme?
Yeah, or maybe it's the meme. I'm not sure. And the other curious thing I just wanted to mention was that I found it really interesting that Hellblade has rebranded themselves a little bit as Senua. I'm guessing like if you're obviously into those games and you're a fan of the IP, like it probably isn't a huge deal. But for someone like myself, like I hear about Hellblade a bit, and I'm like, Hellblade is it's just a cool name, and it's they've established themselves as that. So it's just interesting that they've sort of changed it up. I wonder if it's just for this game or if it's for going forward. I don't know, or like, or the fact that they think that the just Senua alone can help sell this game, other than calling it like Hellblade : Senua or whatever.
Yeah, I think the reason why they've dropped the Hellblade title is mostly because they're trying something a bit different in terms of the gameplay mechanics, and the story they're going to be telling might be a little bit different, but it's still the same character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe they, because like you said, yeah, it's a different gameplay style. They probably don't want to misadvertise to their customers and say that it's another Hellblade game when actually it is, but it isn't.
So the first two games that have come out, the first one was called Hellblade: Senua's Saga, right?
Right.
The second one that came out was Senua's Saga's Hellblade 2. Don't know why they decided to flip the titles around, but you like alphabetically, they won't sit next to each other.
No, they wouldn't.
Because the first one starts with Hellblade, the second one is Senua. So it was really weird that they did that.
Okay, so maybe it'll be fine then, just calling this Senua.
Just Senua, yeah.
Senua. Yeah. But no, apart from that, I'm probably the wrong demographic for this whole thing. But no, I'm excited for everyone that's excited. Like there are a lot of people at work talking about it and getting hyped. So
I was going to say, because Halo Campaign Evolve is also coming over to PlayStation.
Yeah, that's pretty big news. Yeah,
that's big news as well. Like a lot, there's been quite a few Xbox games that are actually coming over to the PlayStation, but with the new CEO Asha Sharma that has come into place.
Yes.
She is trying to get exclusivity to come back, and that's why Gears of War E-Day is one of the games that's exclusive to the console, whereas there was like another Gears of War game that recently came out. I don't know if it was like a remaster or something. That's available to play on PlayStation and Xbox. But yeah, this particular one, they're like, nope, you have to have an Xbox to play this one. So yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Or PC.
Or PC. Yeah.
Actually, no. Gears of War E-Day, console exclusive, just Xbox console. They're not even putting it on the PC.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Yeah, that's all from me about it. So, thanks for sharing, Fulya.
Of course. Michael?
Hello.
Are you excited about any of these games I mentioned from either of those showcases?
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because I told my wife this when the last direct of Nintendo came out and they were talking about Star Fox. It's like, oh no, they're coming after millennial nostalgia now. We're not going to survive because now Star Fox, now Spyro, and Rayman like a week ago, and now Zelda. They're coming after me now. They're coming after me. Yeah, because unfortunately, it was a bit spoiled. a couple of weeks because someone did a big hack and everything sort of came out. It's like, so the rumors are true. So they're doing a remake of Ocarina. Yeah, first game that I played from start to finish. I officially finished the first game that I finished. Big nostalgia hit from me. First one in my family actually get a console. We didn't have a Nintendo. We didn't have a NES. We didn't have anything. It was just me, and we got a Nintendo 64. I thought, yay! And got Pod Racer. What was my first games? I think it was Pod Racer and something else. And I bought Zelda because I've been here. I heard a lot of stuff, and I haven't really played a Zelda game before. And this is the first Zelda game that's in 3 dimensions, whatever that was. So right in the feels. I knew it was Ocarina because that's just Everyone started crying there. I was seeing all the reactions. It's like, yeah. And it is definitely coaxed me to get a Switch too. So
yes,
for Christmas, because my wife's a big Star Fox gamer. She played that as a kid.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna get that for her birthday.
Nice.
Will she play it? I don't know. Give mum a chance and get a game for each of us. Because I think my daughter wants a Tokoboco World, whatever that is. Tokoboco Road, Me Sims, where you play it.
Oh, I'm not sure which one that is.
Yeah, it's a Tokoboco Road. Tokoloroboco.
Is that the way that she pronounces it?
That's the way I pronounce it.
Okay.
Yeah, where you're on an island and you make a family and make friends. Yeah, it's a Sims game, but with me.
Okay.
So
all right,
there's that one. And
you mean Tomodachi Life?
Yeah, that.
That one.
That one. Tamagotchi.
It is quite fun.
Tamagotchi Life.
Tomodachi Life. Yeah, you can definitely play that on the Switch already. Like, yeah.
My Switch don't
with
work.
not. Oh well, yeah.
I need to get it fixed, but
yeah,
I'm, just get a Switch too.
Yeah, fair enough.
Bite that bullet. It's like, shut up and take my money now.
I was gonna say before they increase in like the next couple of months.
Yeah. Well, tax time, so hopefully get some money back.
Yeah.
Who knows? And maybe go JB instead of EB. I don't know.
Come to us.
Yes.
But I won't get any carrots. I won't get any carrots from the EB. Maybe.
No, but it'll be cheaper.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah. What else? Yeah. There was another game.
Anything from Xbox?
Nothing from Xbox. Well, I haven't got an Xbox anymore. Well, I've got 360 and that's it. Been playing a lot of 360.
I mean, there are a lot of games from the Xbox Game Showcase that will be available on PC too. So
yeah, and no doubt Spiral will be on there.
Yeah, probably
because that was on the Wii and the Wii U. I might get the sports island one maybe.
The sports resort, yeah.
Didn't get
it's a good time
because played Wii Sports and that's always fun.
Yeah,
doing the bowling and all that. That's good. Yeah, I got mostly Zelda stuff.
Nice
because it's just can't resist. And also, I actually set up my Xbox 3, my Nintendo 64. I said, hey, this used to be a game where Dad used to play. Yeah. And my son, he's only 4, but he sort of getting his Z target. Yeah. I will say there's a lot of speculation that, and it actually is funny that you're playing Final Fantasy VII, the remake, because essentially they're doing something else with the story, with the Final Fantasy stuff. How it's not the original story, it's something else, and they purposely said that Ocarina of Time is being reborn. So is that a lot of people are thinking, are they going to do something instead of being the actual story with Ocarina of Time?
I'm wondering if when they say it, because with remakes, if it's a remaster, it's essentially the same thing but just made to look new. But a remake might be more of a, we're still going to keep the elements of the story and stuff, but they're just going to maybe change a few things here and there.
Yeah, they're going to, essentially, they would be building it from the ground up, because they already did that with the 3DS. When they remaked it and made it 3D. I missed out that because I didn't really have a handheld console, a handheld game. Hopefully they put in a jump button, because if you've played it, there's no jump button.
There's no jump in Zelda, and I hate it.
There's no such thing as jumping. You just run it. You just that's. You got to be brave. You got to be brave, Fulya, to run up and jump.
Automatic jumps.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Yes.
No, thank you.
Yeah, but a lot of people, because coincidentally, I actually rewatched a little segment of the Zelda timeline and how that's crazy. And it's all because of Ocarina of Time. Now there's 3 branching timelines. One where he fails, one where it's the kid timeline and the adult timeline, and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are its own thing. It's something else that we don't know of. Maybe they're going to massage this in, and because the movie is coming out next year, stuff's going to happen.
Maybe.
And I'll leave it at that.
Cool.
Yeah. Xbox games. No, back. Assassin's Creed 3.
Literally, I can't hear Xbox anymore without thinking of that. I just can't. Every time. It's in my brain.
Earworm.
Xbox. All right. Is that the nerdy news?
That is the nerdy news.
Yeah.
That is the nerdy news. All right. That means it's time to roll on up to the trailer park.
Rolling up to the trailer park where we all park all the trailers. Yeah.
All righty then. So our first trailer is for a very, in my humble opinion, highly anticipated movie that I'm really looking forward to seeing, and this is, of course, The Social Reckoning. A movie where Jeremy Allen White actually gets to show off his acting chops.
And his face.
And his face.
And his real voice.
His real voice, unaltered. Yes, this is much better for him. Yes. So, for those who don't know, this is a sort of a sequel, pretty much a sequel to The Social Network, which was David Fincher's Facebook film that centered around the creation of the platform and Mark Zuckerberg and his legal woes with his former co-founder, Eduardo, I forget his last name, played by Andrew Garfield in the original film, and then Mark was played very famously and very well by Jesse Eisenberg. Sadly, Jesse Eisenberg is not returning for the sequel, but they have enlisted the help of another very talented actor, and that is, of course, his name is escaping me right now, Jeremy Strong. Jeremy Strong, who, yes, I loved in Succession, where he plays Kendall Roy. So guess who my HBO Max profile picture is? Um, yeah, so he's playing an older Mark Zuckerberg here. I would argue that he's potentially too old to play him, just because Mark Zuckerberg is a little closer to our age than his age. I think like Mark would be in his 40s, and I think Jeremy's in his 50s. But please correct me if I'm wrong. It's fine. But regardless, he's a fantastic actor, and I really liked what he's doing in this trailer. He definitely does capture the arrogance of Mark Zuckerberg here. I love how in the beginning of the trailer when he first appears and they start interviewing him, and he's like, "I'm," what does he say, perpetual defendant or whatever he says. Like they're asking, "What's your job title?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm, perpetual defendant." Because he's always in court facing a lot of legal woes. So yes, but yeah, it's basically like there was this whole like, well, I think it's to do with that trial that happened a couple of years ago, where like a lot of like Facebook had to come clean on a lot of things that they'd done in terms of, I think it was like the data privacy breach or something. Yeah, but it's kind of like a journalism slash political, maybe slightly political, I don't know, legal thriller is probably more accurate. So yeah, Jeremy Allen White's playing the reporter who's exposing everything, and then you've got Oscar winner Mikey Madison from Anora. She's here playing Frances Horgan, who's one of the engineers at Facebook, who is effectively the whistleblower in this story. And yeah, the trailer was just really well cut together, and I loved how you had that score in the background that's just like you can hear it like slowly like getting louder, and like as things become more tense and everything. So I just thought that was really well cut together. And yeah, I'm glad that Aaron Sorkin is involved in here, because he of course wrote the screenplay for The Social Network. And he's here directing this one as well as co-writing the script. So it'll definitely have a lot of similarities to the original film. It's a shame David Finch is not directing it, but Aaron Sorkin's a good director as well. I mean, he's a better writer. He's one of the best working writers in Hollywood today. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I've been waiting for this for a while. Like the rest of the cast, you've got Wonmi Masaku. That's so cool to see her in this. Bill Burr is playing a major role as well, which is really cool. And Billy Magnuson, I like him as well. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, I reckon. This was a really good trailer. I think it's gonna be a good film. What did you make of it, Fulya?
I have not watched The Social Network, so this was not really hitting me in a way that I was hoping it might. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not the type of person who wants to go out of my way to learn about all of the, maybe I should, the bad things that have been coming out of all that sort of, the real life stuff. But I don't know. I kind of play ignorance sometimes so that I don't have to feel so depressed and being all like, why?
Come into the dark side.
That's fair. Why do you think I don't pay attention to the news all the time?
Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is mental illness.
Yeah.
It
So
sure is.
probably not something I'll be watching myself, but I mean, I like Jeremy Allen White in that role he seems to be doing it really well. He can do drama roles pretty good. So yeah. That's pretty much all I've got to say about this trailer.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah, I recommend you watch The Social Network. Like, if you have any interest in learning the creation story that is Facebook, it's just a really good movie, and it should have won Best Picture at the Oscars, but famously it didn't. So, but that's neither here nor there. Mike, what did you think of this trailer, and have you seen The Social Network?
I can't remember if I have or not, but because I have vivid memories of it. But I know of the story. yeah, I'm sort of in this weird stage in my life that I don't want to watch like retellings of stories. I much prefer like my One Piece. I like my
The escapism.
the escapism.
Yep.
But still,
Yeah.
the allegories are real. And this one, all intents and purposes, everyone's doing a terrific job in this. Especially the cadence of Mark Zuckerberg is like, yes, that's him. It's like slightly non-human.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's close to the same age as us. It's like, no, he kind of looks like a sad old man now. he has no soul. He's a robot.
He has no soul.
Yeah, no sure. Yeah. Aaron Sorkin, great dialogue. Worried about his political ideals. Neoliberalism is sort of not my bag, baby. But tackling something like this is like, well, yeah, it's kind of like its own sort of. I would say it's like a political thriller sort of thing, because the Social Network is like before everything went to shit, and like where Facebook becomes sort of like your worst enemy. And some of the reasons why I'm not on Facebook anymore is because it's meant to be addictive. It's meant to make you angry.
Yeah.
It's meant all this stuff, and I get angry all the time, but I don't need something that deliberately makes me angry. It's supposed to make you. It's engagement. It's content. It's engagement. It's anyway. Too much AI slop nowadays. I was on it a couple of weeks ago. It's like, is this it? Is this what people, maybe it's my algorithm because I haven't touched it in a while. It's like, hey, you, come here. It's like a beggar on the street. It's like, do you have a cigarette? You know, that sort of thing. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'll watch it.
Fair enough.
If it's on, it's like, I'll sit down and watch it. Maybe just to watch the enjoyment of actors doing their acting, and not necessarily the subject matter
Content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I won't regurgitate it into the content that I'm spewing right now. It's like, we watched it, and this is my content about it. But it's to be seen if I watch it or not, which will be when, Kendall?
Yes. Fabulous segue. The Social Reckoning will be in cinemas on the 8th of October.
Halloween.
Just in time for Halloween. Yeah.
I'll dress up as Mark Zuckerberg.
Brilliant. I had a Google check. Jeremy Strong is 5 years older than Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg is 4 years older than us. Just for context. So
he's not. So he's not 50.
Jeremy Strong is not 50. He just looks a bit older than he is, I think.
Rude.
But yeah. Apologies to Jeremy Strong, who is a wonderful human being.
Yeah. But moisturize. Drink more water and moisturize.
Drink more water. No, I'm sure he does. Okay. Second trailer, completely different vibes on this one because it's an animated film. It's another upcoming Disney/Pixar production by the name of Gato, and I can already see Fulya getting super excited about this one. And to be honest, I'm interested too because like the animation style is really cool. Like it's they're kind of leaning into this. Yeah, it almost has a 2D effect sort of thing. With the way some of the cats are illustrated, and then of course in this little teaser that they show, like there's definitely moments of 2D animation with like the cat's skeleton set against the black backdrop for a second there. I just really like the design on this the most, and then the fact that you've got a great voice cast with Mark Ruffalo playing the main character of Nero, who is the black cat in this, and then you've got Lawrence Fishburne as well. It's also directed by Enrico Casarosa, yes, he did Luca as well. And
Because
The Good
that's also Italian.
Dinosaur, and he's yes, makes a lot of sense. He did The Good Dinosaur, or he worked on that. I'm just checking his filmography right now. He was involved in The Good Dinosaur. He didn't direct it. Luca's his only Pixar direction, but he's been involved in a bunch of Pixar stuff. Just going through his filmography there. So, yeah. So I'm keen. I like this teaser. Like the fact that it's about like the movie itself is about like a yeah, gold. Like these cats, the mafia group of cats is just kind of a fun concept in and of itself, and and just them getting like this interrogation scene that goes off the rails because they get distracted by the light fixture is just really cute, really funny, and a really nice teaser for this film. So I look forward to seeing more from Gatto. What did you think, Fulia?
Oh my goodness. Gatto, another Italian Pixar animated film. I really liked Luca to put that out there. I really enjoyed it. The art style of that was wonderful. It was very colorful. This is kind of more on the sort of toned down to like the darker sort of tones of color, but I still love the look of it. And the fact that it's still set in Italy, this time in Venice. And the fact that these cats there's like a mob boss of a cat that Lawrence Fishburne is playing, and it's so cool. Already I'm already in love with the idea of this Nero, the black cat, because Nero means black in Italian, so that makes sense. And yeah, it's just I think I love the look of this in terms of its art style, just because it looks very hand drawn, almost like they've colored in with pencils, and it looks very, very cool. No doubt that it's going to have one hell of a humorous story, but there'll be like a sort of a message, an underlying message, I would say, in this particular story. So I am very much looking forward to seeing this, maybe seeing an actual like proper trailer of what this story will be about in more context. And then we'll go from there. The poster just looks absolutely wonderful with the giant sort of full moon and Nero kind of hanging upside down over the canals of Venice. Yeah, I'm all in. I am absolutely ready for Gatto. It's gonna be great.
Gatto.
Nice. No surprises for anyone. Fulya is excited for this. It makes me very happy. That's excellent. Mike, what did you think of Gatto? Does it look like a cinema day for the kids as well?
Yeah. I'm still need to be more convinced. Like you, Fulya, I probably need another story trailer to see what's happening. Could be an Italian heist movie, but with cats. I'm not a big cat fan. I'm more of a dog person. But it looks charming, and the art style it looks nice, and the sort of the 3D trying to be 2D, harking back to something a bit more like what animation is, and where the 3D animation doesn't have to be plastic or anything like that.
Not shiny.
Yeah, it looks like it's the art style of it being painted in a computer, but still you can see sort of like
the strokes.
The strokes, and sorry, not music. Don't think of strokes. I was going to make a riff of one of the songs, but I can't quite think of it. Anyway, cool to have a variety of different voice people, not necessarily all like Italian or anything like that, because you can touch on it, but it's not necessarily. I don't think it's. Yeah, I probably need another trailer to convince us, like, why are they cats? Why is it set in Venice? Otherwise, it's it's mob propaganda. It's like all Italians are in the mob. Maybe it's something to do with like something else. Anyway, but looks charming nonetheless. So when is this coming out, Kendall?
Yes. Well, Gatto will be in cinemas next year on the 4th of March.
Yeah. I feel like Pixar is having a bit of a resurgence. Like the last few Pixar movies, aside from Toy Story, have been really, really good.
Because they're coming to the cinema.
Yeah.
And not being dumped.
Dumped on Disney.
Plus.
That's
I
fair.
feel so bad for Soul. Like Soul is such a good movie. And that one just not getting the cinematic, like the theatrical release was really gut-wrenching to find out.
Well, yeah.
It could have done so well.
I feel, I was going to say Soul and Turning Red as well.
Turning Red. Oh, I love Turning Red.
Yeah.
So good.
I did have a soft spot for Onward.
Yeah, Onward.
Yeah,
That was the last film. Fulya, you and I saw that together at the cinema in March of 2020. So yeah.
Yeah, that one hurt too.
Yeah, for sure. That movie definitely.
Yeah, but I love that the Pixar studio is starting to pick up again and doing some really cool things, and it's a more unique to what we've seen. Yeah, especially considering that we're getting a 5th Toy Story movie, and now so
well,
I'm happy to see that they're coming up with new ideas.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
They need stuff like Toy Story 5 to make sure they can do something like Gatto and all those sort of out of the box sort of things. Maybe it make money, maybe it doesn't. Like,
yeah, that's a fair point.
Well,
I was just gonna say on the Toy Story 5 thing, like obviously the movie's starting to ramp up its opening, and the cast have been doing a lot of press, and there was one really lovely kind of comment that I think it was Tim Allen said, that he doesn't really like the cast themselves when they're discussing the films, they don't call them 2, 3, 4, 5. Like they just say, do you remember the one where we did this? Do you remember this story? Do you remember that? And he just talks about them as being like, it's all Toy Story, and these are just different chapters.
Okay. Yeah.
And I just thought that was really nice and a really like wholesome way to view, the fact that we have 5 Toy Story movies when we really don't need five of them. I still believe that, but like it was nice for him to go, no, this is just another. It's not Toy Story 5. This is the one where we take on the AI. Like yeah, I think that's really sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more trailer to discuss, and again, switching gears on this one. This is a new Brad Pitt film called Heart of the Beast.
More like heartbroken of the everybody who's going to be watching it.
Man, I don't know if I'm going to have to wait until the doesthedogdie.com does a report on this film.
Yeah, I'll get to my thoughts in a moment.
Yeah. Yes. Well, anyway, yeah. So this does look like a good film, I think. It's going to be a tough story and a tough watch with Brad Pitt's, he was a soldier. He's obviously got some PTSD going on. J.K. Simmons is in this film too, which is cool. But then obviously the heart of the story is Brad's relationship with his dog that he has, this German Shepherd who's trained. Obviously he's a military dog, very clever, very smart dog, and they're best buds. And then they're involved in a plane crash, and then they have to figure out how to survive in the wilderness and not get mauled to death by certain creatures and starve or any of that stuff, and how do they get back to civilization, and things may or may not happen to the dog in the film, and I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. Yeah, but that being said, I'm a fan of Brad Pitt. I enjoy what he does, and yeah, I might watch this, I might not. We'll wait and see. But it looks like it could be an alright film, and it was a fine trailer. I mean, it showed a lot, but I don't think it ruined too much of the film, really. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how this one goes. All right, Fully, hit us with your thoughts on Heart of the Beast. What are you feeling about this one?
I'm after watching this trailer, I immediately said there is no way I'll be able to watch this without bawling my eyes out.
Yeah.
And I could and even after I finished watching the trailer, I could feel myself like that sort of gut wrenching kind of feeling, and I was getting a bit teary too, and I'm just like, nope, I can't. This is definitely one of those times, the type of movies I can't watch war movies with animals, more specifically dogs. Especially considering that this particular dog in the trailer, you already see that it's been injured. It's got its own sort of like one of its front legs is metal, like it's been amputated, so they've had to give him another leg. He's apparently a bomb went off in his mouth and he's got metal teeth replacements. And I'm just like, this dog has gone through so much and it's resilient and strong and just keeps on going. And I'm like, there is no way by the end of this, I hope I'm wrong that this dog actually does survive, but I won't be able to watch this particular movie. There are other movies and games where there are dogs in those particular sort of IP, but a lot of the times it's more of a they're evil, they're about to kill you kind of a situation or they're hellhounds or whatever. And in that case, yes, kill them all. But when it's something like this, where it's like, man and his best friend and the war and trying to survive, and I can't. I won't be able to watch this at all without crying my eyes out. I just won't be able to.
No, I get you. I fully understand where you're coming from. Yes. Solidarity on pets being harmed in film. We hate,
and I have watched other movies where there are dogs in it, and the dogs, like, I a little bit more on the sort of like heartfelt and sort of family orientated, no violence kind of movies where the dogs are in it and those dogs may have passed away. But this is completely different, and I won't be able to handle it. I don't think I can. Like, even in the trailer, watching it and that plane crash happening, I'm like, how on earth does a dog survive that? There is no way. But apparently this one does, so. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's based on a true story, so hopefully we can, if that's the case, we can keep that into account. Thank you for sharing, Fulya. Mike, what did you think of The Heart of the Beast?
Out of the three, this is probably my least one to go see. Because, the subject matter is like, I don't purposely don't want to feel bad for a while. And considering it is a dog. But I'm not sure if they're going to do this route, but I've sort of made up a different story in my head if they go down this route of it being Rambo dog, and then First Blood. It takes where he comes out of the he comes out of being changed, but he's part of war, so I think the resilience of dogs like this is a key thing. I think the story is that they do have like bomb sniffer dogs and they do help in war, but the risk of it being like anything to do with like we're fighting a war rah rah. I think considering it is part of like the building blocks of coming from war and where do soldiers actually go to and where they are, and just having survival instinct as well. It would be an interesting take, but I don't know if I would purposely sit down and watch it for that enjoyment. I'm not entirely sure. And I haven't watched. I can't remember the last time I watched a movie with Brad Pitt in it, like intentionally.
Oh wow! Intentionally.
Well, that's the thing. I don't go out of my way in watching Brad Pitt. I'm not, as I said, not intentionally. Probably the last one was probably Thelma and Louise, but he's not in it that much. Spoilers. But yeah, because I haven't seen One Time in Hollywood just yet. I need to be in the right mindset for that one, and also, yeah. But I should be watching that because I think there's a TV show coming out soon.
There is.
Yeah, so I need to do something. But One Piece first. Get this month done. Get the whole thing done before this month. But in the meantime, where's this movie coming out?
Yes, well, The Heart of the Beast will be in cinemas on the 24th of September.
And he's such a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. Alrighty. That's the trailer park done, which means it's time for the moment, the section, the segment, the part, the place, the thwip, whip, thwip, dip, dip, dip of the show we like to call
Popcorn culture. Thwip, 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 thwip.
They look weird and gross at the same time.
Yes, they do, but it's okay. All right. It's Spider-Noir time. We're here to talk about the second half of Spider-Noir, which is episode 5, Betrayal, episode 6, Nightmare on a Gurney, episode 7, Nobody's Hero, and episode 8, The Man in the Mask. So, overall thoughts? You remember how you guys liked it more than I did? Well, I've changed my tune completely. These 4 episodes were fucking great, and I had a feeling they were gonna be because I saw the IMDb ratings last week, and each episode went up in the 8 range, like up, and I was like, okay, all right. I see that, and then I sat down and watched. I'm like, this is infinitely more interesting than the first half of the show. Infinitely.
It's kind of like it's a whole story.
It's whole. Oh, it's probably should have watched it all at once. Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, just a thought. But regardless, yeah, no, I'm really glad that I ended up coming around on it. And not that I wasn't like, I didn't hate it last week, obviously, but yeah, I didn't love it as much as you guys. But yeah, good stuff. Loved the payoff of like, the prisoners of war situation, POW camp, where they're being experimented on how they get their powers, and then like the inclusion of Dr. Faber as a character and her son Ogden. That was a great reveal and a great story in this that I'm looking forward to discussing. And and then the whole thing about the cure and then like how it ends up helping Ben come out of his funk and getting back to being Spider permanently. We only got a taste of Layden at the end of episode 4 last week, and then here he becomes Megawatt, and he becomes such an important part of the story, and just I can't wait to talk about him because he was just, every time he was on screen, I'm just like, please say more Shakespeare in your really thick New York accent, please. I need
let's just say I wanted to slap that guy, kick him.
Oh, he was annoying as hell.
What do you mean?
He was annoying. Yeah.
Yes.
He was the worst, but he was also the best. Speaking of characters I wanted to slap, I was glad to see Janet slap the shit out of Kat for betraying Ben. That was satisfying as hell. But also her story went on to be very interesting too. Her motivations and her figuring out that she still, she couldn't stop loving Flint and couldn't give up, couldn't give him up and get away and run away with Ben and all of that. But yeah, no, it was just great. It was the cinematography in this was cool, like the editing as well. Like, the end of episode 7 when we have those simultaneous cuts that split screen between the mayor and Silvermane, where they're both like, "Get me Ben Reilly," and they're like going back and forth because they both have little tubes that have the cure in it, and they're like, "What's this? What's this? We need the spider. We need Ben Reilly," and they don't know, obviously. Yeah, although I will say seeing Robbie play the spider was pretty fun. I was really curious to see how that scene was all going to go down, like from the moment Ben handed Silvermane the phone. I'm like, "What are you doing? There's no one on the other end." And then it was like, "Oh, okay, it's fine."
Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course the bad guys get their own, and Flint doesn't die. He gets a happy ending, but Layden ends up splattered by a train, and Silvermane gets one in the chest by Kat. Kat's the one that does it. She finally gets him. It was all very satisfying, and exciting and really interesting. So I'm looking forward to discussing with you guys. But yeah, good stuff. These 4 episodes, really good. Fulya, tell us your thoughts overall. What did you think about the last half, the second half of Spider-Noir?
I agree with you that these last 4 definitely did pick up and made the story like really, really interesting, and sort of definitely captivated my interest to just wanting to learn more and more about these characters and where it was going, where it's leading. I completely forgot about the warning that Michael gave us.
Oh.
Oh no, I didn't, and I was sitting there watching episode 5, and I'm like, when's it happening? Oh, there it is. That's terrifying. Fucking hell. And then it was, but I didn't get a warning for episode 6, and episode 6 was almost as bad.
Yeah, I was going to thought, in for a penny, in for a pound.
That's okay.
I don't have to hold your hand all the time.
Betrayal.
No, that's totally fine. I just definitely not a fan of seeing little spiders crawl out of someone's body and no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Or the Home Alone put the tarantula on the face.
I mean, that's not good either, but this was worse than that.
Oh yeah, no, episode 5, and I'm sure we'll get into it, just freaked me out. As soon as I saw the shapes and stuff, I was like, nope, close my eyes, I cannot. And I'm just like, I'm waiting for the sound of it being done, and then I'll just like peek through my fingers like, okay, we're good. And then episode 6, the moment she cut into it and I started seeing something crawling out, I'm like, nope, I can't.
Would you believe worse in color?
Oh,
I'm glad I watched it in black and white. Honestly, that's the other thing I will also mention. The fact that because I watched this whole season in black and white. The violence didn't impact me as much, because you don't see like how gory and red it would have been when you see the blood. Which I'm sure would have been absolutely horrendous in color, especially for me. So I'm glad I got the option to watch it in black and white, so I wasn't as impacted, and because I wanted to keep watching it, and I knew it's a dark thriller kind of a show. I didn't want to stop myself from watching it just because of the goriness. So I'm glad we had that option, and I still really enjoyed it in black and white because it looked so good. And like you said, Kendall, like the cinematography throughout this show has been amazing. And yeah, just there were points of the plot where I wasn't expecting. As soon as Kat was like, "Oh my God, if I tell you who it is, will you not hurt him?" And I'm like, there's no way they're not going to hurt him. They're going to experiment on him. Come on. So yeah, it was just it's like one piece of drama after another, and yeah, it definitely paid off by the end of it. Nick Cage, my goodness, like I've not watched a lot of movies with him in it because I've not really jived with a lot of the films that he's been in, so I haven't had much of an interest to watch those films. But for whatever reason, this show, he plays Ben Riley, the Spider, so well. And I think it's more so because it's a period piece and he's putting on this really thick New York accent. And I'm just, it was so good. And yeah, the payoff at the end, honestly, I was on the edge of my seat when he was in the room with Silvermane and having this conversation, and oh my God, he's going to get found out. Holy crap. Silvermane knows, but then they do sort of like that little bait and switch of, hey, you're speaking to the Spider on the other end and it's Robbie, and oh, it was so good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it was really good.
Nice. Mike, tell us your thoughts on the last 4 episodes of Spider-Noir.
Yeah, I was really enjoying the story with the first 4 and seeing where it would go. But yeah, it definitely did punch it up a couple of notches in the source storytelling, as well as the cinematography, as well as the actors just having fun. Going on the Silvermane and Ben Riley sort of conversations, you can sort of tell that they were the actors were having fun on because. How often do you get to do a period piece that's a quasi comic book TV show, and just having fun, and you can sort of tell, it's like, how's your Nicolas Cage impression? It's like, not bad. I suppose that would be a highlight. I get to do Nick Cage to Nick Cage.
Pretty great.
Yeah. The horror sort of bumped up a couple of notches. Even I was a bit squeamish. It's like, I don't like that, and if I don't like that, you guys definitely you and your spiders and you with your horror is like, watch out for Man Spider.
Yeah, Man Spider can fuck right off. Stay in the nightmares, thanks.
Yeah, and then episode
Nightmare
6.
fuel.
Yeah, then in episode 6, I was like, ooh, don't like that either. Should I tell him? Nah. You're gonna have to finish it.
They'll be fine.
They'll be fine. Yeah, and everyone just really, I really enjoy this show. Will there be a continuation? I don't know. I think I kind of like where they finished up here. You could probably, because there's no more like experimentation. I suppose you can do a bit more. It's like, oh, and all of a sudden, what's his name? Osborn. Maybe do an Osborn, or maybe even a Doc Ock sort of thing with a. Like
a
new
mad
technology
scientist sort of thing,
and
as well.
what it would look like within the 1920s sort aspect. But I'm happy with what we got, even though I'm sort of banking on it's like, oh, do J.J. Jameson and get J.K. Simmons just because Nexus
just because
B.
Why not?
Yeah, Nexus B. It's always it's always him.
It's always him.
But looking different, slightly different. Kind of like it. Yeah, I'm really happy. I'm really happy that I watched it. Just loved the trailer and thought this is going to be something special, and I was right. So, yay for me. And I actually did go back and actually watch the first episode all in color. As it's definitely rewatchable sort of stuff, and you can definitely see they definitely were thinking both. Okay, it wasn't an afterthought of saying, oh, it could be good in black and white and it could be good in color. It's actually both. I think they were actually doing both at the same time. It's like, because the colors in it are not like monotone or anything like that. When you think the 1920s, everything's elaborate. Everything is sort of punched up to 20. Like a lot of light blues, a lot of greens, and you can definitely see it was that they had that in mind. So, no, if you want, go back and watch it in color. Probably not Man Spider in color, because even I, no, not in color. Seeing that in shadows is enough for me. It's like,
yeah, honestly, the only reason why I would turn to the color version is probably just to see the color in the costumes and the settings.
Yeah.
Which is the one main thing that, watching it in black and white that you definitely miss. You see all the patterns and the shadings in the black and white, but when it's in color, it's just like it brings that other level of sort of visual kind of a appealing sense to see all of that. And if you're saying that because it wasn't really an afterthought, which I would definitely agree, it's definitely not an afterthought that they were doing both at the same time. They would have had to consider the different types of colors to use in color, but so that it also shows up in black and white really well. So
yeah,
I kind of like that they did that.
Yeah, like if you've seen like the set photos of the original Addams Family, the TV show, like when it's all in color, there was a lot of pink. Ironically.
Yeah, there's like a very famous photo that went around online years ago, and it's all in pink, everything.
Yeah.
That is so ironic because Addams Family is so like dark comedy and all black kind of a situation.
Yeah. In order to get, because they were filming in black and white, and they had no way of like going back to like anything like that. So they need to accommodate it being filmed in black and white, as well as it being darker hue because it's the Addams Family. Just there was a lot of pink and a lot of yellow, so kind of good.
Yeah, I was trying to find a photo, but it wouldn't let me save. But fully, it's worth googling.
Okay.
Yes, to see. It's great. Yeah, it's all pinks and yellows, and like Mike was saying. Yeah, it's fun. All right, shall we jump into some more pointed discussion?
Pointy.
Pointy. I want to start with Dr. Faber and Ogden, and the payoff of the POW story. Just because that, like I said, that was really what really gave me the kind of the interest and the love for the show. I think kind of came from that storyline. Like for example, episode 6 was my favorite, I think, of the whole show, just because I really enjoyed like this. Like I didn't see it coming that Ogden was actually Faber's son. Like that was a nice added twist. And the fact that his mutation was like aging him, and he was going to die soon. That complication, and the fact that just because his mum, was a bit more cruel than he was, didn't mean that he was going to succumb to what she wanted. Like, I love the fact that when it came down to it, Ogden was always going to save Ben, because for that simple fact that Ben saved his life, and now he saved his life twice. So it kind of made it all the more tragic when you see Ben gets to escape and Ogden goes back to save his mum, and then doesn't make it out. And but I just really loved how it all played out. And like the genuine shock that I got when when Ogden comes to Ben's apartment and is asking him to help out, to help find this cure. But, obviously he refuses, and then the shock when like he just pulls out the needle and just jabs him, and I was like, oh shit, okay. Well, guess we're off to the nut house. To the nut house did we go. It's funny too for me because Dr. Faber, who was played by Amy Aquino, she's actually an ER as well. So I've been watching her. I've been watching her play. She plays an OBGYN in the show. Yeah. So it's funny watching her be that kind of doctor, and then here she is in this other show so many years later.
Genetic scientist.
Yeah, playing a very different type of doctor. But I also kind of liked that she was complicated as well, like in the fact that, you know, everyone thought she was a bad person and like out to make these monsters, and it was kind of heartbreaking, like during that scene when Silvermane and Flint and Layden and Lonnie, they all come because Silvermane's like, I'm gonna go get me some more freaks. Because, you know, he's an idiot. And yeah, and then like that moment where like the fellas see her for the first time since, you know, they've stopped going to see her because she can't cure them. They start to believe that she was actually making them worse, and she's the reason they're dying, when it was the opposite. But then at the same time, Faber also ordered Ogden to go kill Ben, so it's like she's kind of riding that line between good and evil a little bit. And so that made her really fascinating. But I think at the core of it, she believed what she was doing was the right thing, and that Ben was just a consequence of that. And, you know, all she wanted to do was save her son, you know. And it was the same thing with Kat, for example. Like, Kat betrays Ben to Faber, but like with the intention of saving Flint. So like all of these characters' stories are kind of lining up in parallel nicely. And I really loved the way the writing played out. But then just, you know, to also show us an example of Layden's inability to control himself, you know, during those scenes. So yeah, but no, I really liked it. And then just the fact that, again, it even was mentioned in the end when Ben Reilly comes in to Silvermane's club, and Layden's like, I know you from somewhere. And the whole time I was thinking, oh, he's recognizing the voice from when they fought in the street at the end of episode 4. And then it's like, no, he was remembering him from the POW camp. And then we get to see more. Like, there's more flashback. Like, it's not just, you know, that those flashbacks of Ben going in and saving everybody from being experimented on and that terrible nightmare fuel that is Man Spider. There's a whole extra thing where Ben, after he got bit by Man Spider, and he started going a bit, ooh. Like, I loved how Nicolas Cage kept doing the like these ones, like
yeah,
like I can't stop moving kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he became a subject of, you know, torture and torment, as well, and we get to learn that too. So it's like there was just so much to unpack and unravel from the whole thing. I really, really liked it a lot. Fulya, what did you think of the POW stuff and Faber and Ogden?
Yeah, look, that whole story was just really fascinating to learn about. The fact that there was this whole sort of underground experimentation thing happening with all these, you know, these people who ended up getting, like, it was like genetic mutations that back in those type of times, you, like, obviously this is not really, it's all, you know, fake and stuff, but like the fact that they went with all these weird kind of critters like reptiles and insects and arachnids, and just really, yeah, I could not.
It was a lot.
Yeah, it was so much.
Yeah.
And I knew there was a spider one coming up at some point. I just wasn't sure when. And then as soon as I saw that giant lump in the front of this guy revealed, I was just like, oh no, I can't. No, cannot. Nightmare fuel right there. So, yeah, that particular scene, more specifically, just sort of going through and panning in that room, I was like, oh, this is terrible. Like, obviously because this is also very, you know, this is all fiction and stuff, but I can't imagine real life times POW camps, what they would have gone through during the war. Like the stuff that like the fact that they've been, you know, beaten and, tortured and for information and all that sort of, like, I cannot even fathom what that would have been like. To then see this kind of a, experimentation lab happening underground in a POW camp. And I'm just, that was horrifying to watch, to be honest. So I'll just put that out there. But then episode 6 with the like the extra flashbacks and stuff, especially when Layden was mentioning, hey, I know you from somewhere. And then we get those extra flashbacks and I'm just like, oh no, don't say anything, dude. Don't say anything. But obviously he's going to. But on Kendall, I was kind of similar to you. I was like, does he know he's the spider? Like, what the heck is going on here? And then he was like, the POW camp. I'm like, oh, that would make more sense. Yes, that's true. So yeah, like all that sort of stuff. It was just really fascinating to kind of watch that, aside from the horrific scenes. And it was just really sort of interesting to learn more about what Ben went through with his little situation, and then finding out that he did not like the idea of revealing himself to anyone or like help. And that's why he didn't want to help, because, people were gonna, if they found out who he was or if they caught him, that they would do experimentations like that again. And I get it. Like, I understand his fear of that. But Nick Cage did such a great job in that flashback role, where he was held in this solitary kind of confinement tent by himself. He's scared for his life, and you can see it in his face. Like, the fact that his jolting movements is like he can't control it, and so he wants to know what's going on, but the general's like, no, you're good, you're safe with us, kind of a thing. And I'm just like, this is not going to go well for him. So yeah, it was actually a really cool watch. But yeah, like I said, aside from the nightmare fuel, it was good to to learn about all that sort of stuff.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Mike, what are your thoughts on the whole POW storyline and how it played out?
I really liked it because it didn't explain too much. I mean, you can be bogged down with like, oh, it's experimental stuff. We found a formula that's from like an alien landing crash site or something like that. But no, it was sort of like that simple. It's like, oh, if you infuse the blood with an animal, you get their powers. Is that sort of thing? Is that sort of science fiction way back when, where it was just simple, like the first landing on the moon. The I can't remember the name. Sorry, H.G. Wells sort of did like a moon landing thing, and the whole science is there was just the invention of anti-gravity metal. So that is not in reality whatsoever, but it just works because that's what people's idea of the time. And I like the fact that maybe it was a subtle hint of the Captain America thing, trying to find the super.
Oh, the super soldier
serum. Could be that, but you don't have to like go down that road. It's just an easy thing to understand. It's like, okay, this person is attached to a monkey, they get monkey powers, or even I didn't really see, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had like someone with a scorpion, and if someone had scorpion powers, because that's in Spider-Man mythos as well, scorpion. Yeah, and yeah, it's just scary as well. I kind of like it. It's like do not like, do not want. And at least Ben gets bitten by a spider, I guess. But a supernatural spider.
Yeah, it's certainly one way to do it.
Yeah. It's like how do we do it? It's like easy, human
Spider.
Yeah, human spider hybrid, and then that get infused with Ben. So yeah, yeah, can't really add too much. I really enjoyed it as well. I give them flowers as well of being a simple, like an easy digestible sort of take when it comes to like science fiction in the 1920s 30s. Yeah,
I also like how it connects to Spider-Noir's origin, like the Spider's origin story, as well as like the villains. Like they're all connected in the same sort of situation. Yeah. Cool. Well, speaking of those villains, I want to talk about Layden and Lonnie and Flint. Our three monsters working for Silvermane. I just really love how wonderfully these characters are portrayed, and especially like, I mean, I don't think Layden gets a lot of depth to him because he's clearly just a narcissistic douchebag that gets joy from people listening to him talk, and also killing people.
Typical actor.
Yeah, he's pretty much a straight up just villain. But he's super entertaining to watch. Like I mentioned earlier, I really enjoyed pretty much every moment he was on screen, and I really thought Andrew Lewis Caldwell, who played him, did a great job. He reminded me a little bit of Danny DeVito, to be honest. Like in the voice a little bit, he had that kind of DeVito, almost as DeVito as the Penguin, even like a little bit of vibes of that. Which was fun. Apparently, Megawatt in the comics, though, is an Australian criminal, which I found interesting. So it would have been completely different, I think, if it had been an Aussie actor playing the character. But I think this fits the time and it fits the vibe of the show a bit better.
Well, Silvermane was meant to be a cyborg, so
yeah, exactly. And he's not Irish.
He's not
right?
Irish.
So
no.
he's not Irish. So little changes that makes sense for the story. It's always a good thing. But I really liked Layden's proper introduction that we got with him in episode 5, when he's after his shenanigans on the street in episode 4, he's locked up and being interrogated and tortured by the police, and then the tables turn, of course, when Silvermane rocks up with Lonnie and Flint to bust him out. And I just loved how he zeroed in on that main cop, that main detective who was interrogating him, and just made it the most kind of super dramatic, of course, because he's an actor, so he's really putting in the drama. But the fact that he killed him with a kiss of electricity was a really interesting choice for this show. But I kind of like that. It was just really out there. And then just all the mentions of him. You talk too much. Have you ever thought about not talking so much? Shut the fuck up.
Do you ever shut up?
Yeah. He's just great. So and the fact that he's trying to wrestle the guys and be like, we're the ones with the powers. We can do whatever we want. We're not beholden to anyone. Why are we working for Silvermane? So I like that he kind of stirs the pot in that way too. I thought that was fun. But yeah, as for the other two, it was so good, as as we are fans of Lonnie Lincoln on this podcast, it was so good to see him come good in the end and get his cure, get his normal life back, and now he's off to Timbuktu with his mum, and they're going to start a new life together. I thought that was really sweet. But it was also heartbreaking to see previously those scenes where Robbie came to talk to him in the episode where he gets cured. I think it's episode 7. And Robbie's like, what are you doing? Why are you with them? And he's like, well, my life wasn't so great before, was it? And at least this way, I've got best clothes I've ever worn. I've got the best bed I've had in years. You can see why he made the choice to join, and then of course that loyalty to Flint after what they went through. in the war, so it all makes sense. But I was really glad to see that he got out of it in the end. And then same with Flint, you know, like Flint was another really complicated character who really went very dark during the course of the show, and it was a shame that, you know, he pulled Kat away from Ben. But I mean, I don't know how much I bought the Kat and Ben thing, especially from her side. You know, like obviously Ben was falling fast for her, and you know, like I like that scene with Ben and Janet, and he's like, I'm leaving, I will set you up, blah blah blah, and he's so giddy and happy. But I never got that from Kat's POV. So yeah, but then it was good to see that, you know, all of that led to Clint having a chance at life and getting out of crime potentially, and you know, that final confrontation on the street with, you know, with Megawatt and the spider, and you've got them all kind of fighting each other, and then Flint nearly dies, you know, like that part where Ben kind of, what, doesn't he like hit him with a car or like drop a car on him and he turns to sand completely?
Yeah.
Like, oh damn. Yeah.
Just disintegrates.
Disintegrates in the sand. But of course we knew he wasn't dead then, but then it was like during those scenes.
Yeah, for a split second I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, that's
poor
fair.
Cat.
Yeah. And then when like
he should be naked.
Yes, he should be. He should be if you want to be comic accurate, but it's fine. Yeah, and then when like Megawatt's using his electricity to turn him to glass, essentially.
That was actually kind of cool. I like that.
That was
effect.
a really cool effect. But yeah, really harrowing to watch, because first I thought Kat was dead because she got shocked. But then like, you know, Robbie didn't die either from the shock, so it was all a bit of plot armor going on. But I was like, whatever, who cares? But yeah, Flint almost died, and then it was fine because then, you know, bloody Layden died instead. But I mean, he gets hit by a train. I mean, I think it's fair to say he's dead, but who knows? We may see him again. I don't know. It's a superhero show. If they return to it, I don't think we need to go back to him. But no, I thought that was fine, the way that all went down. Yeah. So a good rogues gallery for the Spider to contend with, especially in the last half of the season. What did you make of these three villains, not villains, antagonists, Fulya?
Let's just say I was not a fan of Layden. Such an asshole jerk, to be honest. And honestly, I was on the camp of do you ever shut up? I don't think so. Safe to say he played that role very well. done that character justice. Lonnie, I feel like Lonnie never was evil. He just had to make a really tough decision about his own life, and survival was his main objective, I guess, in that sense. So that's like, look, if I'm going to be dying, I might as well die comfortably, you know, in wearing, you know, good clothes and sleeping in a good bed and making some sort of money out of it. So that was interesting. As soon as that scene happened with him getting the jab in the eye, I immediately thought of you, Kendall. I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry, Kendall. This is not good.
Need to be the soft bit.
It wasn't great. I will admit it wasn't great, but hey, it worked out. It's fine. It's okay.
Man,
the eye was okay.
That impact was hard. It was like a straight up jab, and I'm like, oh, ow. But yeah, it was one of those kind of, oh crap, we can't put it into his skin because it's metal. It's gonna bend the needle, and the needle's not strong enough to go through that. So where else is not made of metal? And the only part of his body was his eyes. So made sense, I guess.
Or the tip of the penis.
Wow, I moving on. But yeah, no, Lonnie is definitely a very layered character. Like I really liked I really liked that character. He obviously, had to make really tough decisions for, to survive. So and then Flint, oh my gosh, he was complicated. He was hard to read. And like he was in love with Kat, and Kat was in love with him, and they wanted to run away together. But the fact that he had this whole sort of sand thing happening to him, and he was dying, and he was just like, I'd rather not let you continue to be with me, because I'm going to die and you're going to continue and you're going to be heartbroken, right? So the fact that he made that kind of sacrifice, but it was like one of those things where, don't make that decision for me, kind of a sense for Kat. So I kind of understood where Kat was coming from, and the fact that there was no way that she was going to fall in love with Ben when she was still in love with Flint. And I honestly didn't believe, even after their little, their passionate kiss and the fact that let's run away together kind of story thing happening, I had this inkling that it wasn't going to happen, because I'm like, there is no way she would have instantly stopped loving Flint to go with Ben. So I'm just like, yeah, I didn't believe it for a second, to be honest. But I was half expecting the betrayal. So when that happened, I wasn't overly surprised. But I guess it was for a good reason, because she really wanted to save Flint. And then finding out that Flint was the last person to get the cure, because there was only one needle left, was a great sacrifice from Ben. So that was really nice of him. But yeah, Flint was just, very much. He's also very jealous type too. Like the moment as soon as he found out about Ben, he was not happy at all. So therein lies his love was still burning bright for Kat. And yeah, look, I'm glad that it all worked out for him, and Kat and Flint ended up, together again. So that was really nice. But at what cost, is just the amount, like the fact that he also did the same thing as Lonnie, and more of a survival thing, kind of like, I'd rather not break your heart when I die, and I'd rather do this, which was, I don't know, I feel like that's a bit of a selfish move, to be honest. So yeah, Flint was complicated, but he was really, really cool too. I kind of liked him too. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Thank you. Mike, what did you make of the superpowered antagonists here?
As I said with the POW stuff, I do like the different interpretation of what would be a super villain in this sort of world, and how it would slightly campy, sort of still, but still semi serious, with their different powers, and I would say like a bit of a stereotype with most of them, like you got the hard Lenny and the Megawatt being spectacular and everything that he is, and he would be the man for the stage, and put him up in lights, and he's electric, that's what. So I can't like the sort of aspect that it has for that. Yeah, I can't really add too much. I really enjoyed it myself. I really enjoy these myself.
That's good. That's good. Cool. Well, I kind of want to talk about Ben a little bit, because we really see him go on quite the journey in this second half, and he gets back to being the Spider full time by the end of it. But going through his pain still with still thinking about Ruby, and then finding some hope with Kat just to be squashed when she betrays him, and then he goes through the torture of having his body, violated against his will, and then I really think the turning point for me is like episode 7. Really, obviously it's the turning point because he's recovering from his injuries, and then he's getting drunk because what else is there to do? And he has that really pivotal fight scene in the bar, where he's just drinking and minding his own business, and then those jerks come in and start bad mouthing the spider and stuff, and then he comes back into the bar, of course, as the spider, and starts fighting them. And it was a really cool fight scene. Like, I really loved that whole fight sequence, the way it was staged, and the stunts were really cool. So that played out really well. And then, of course, Robbie rocks up at the end and sets Ben on the right path. I was really glad too, just as a side note, to see Robbie not only get his job back at the Bugle, but to have sort of the record set straight in regards to that stupid article that they posted against his will. I thought that was really really good, and then the fact that he's trying to use his powers for good as well, and help Ben, and be like, you need to, like, this is your chance to be who you're supposed to be, and do the right thing and make amends and all that stuff. And I think he's a really good friend to Ben, and it was really nice to see that their friendship kind of got things back on track. And then just his decision in the end to even when like after everything he's been through, and like how very much he makes it clear that he hates being who he is. He doesn't like having these powers. He wants nothing more than to get rid of them. And then he has that opportunity, but then he gets to a point where he's like, well, I'm not dying. My powers aren't killing me. So Flint can have the last cure, I'm not going to be selfish. I'm going to give it to him because he'll die otherwise, So I really liked that. And then of course, just all the stuff in Silvermane's bar, like we've already talked about a little bit, with just the stalling, and then the phone call, and then like just the back and forth, and then even like the episode before, was it the episode before, or was it the same? No, it might be that same episode when bloody Cat comes clean about the fact that she was the one that set up Addison to kill Silvermane, which I was really glad to see her do that. That was cool. But then Silvermane's like, okay, how about I kill you if Ben Reilly's not the spider? Because I'm starting to think that he's the spider, and I'm gonna, So, and then for Robbie to rock up when he did, obviously, was the whole thing, and that was just a really tense sequence, and you can just see Ben just struggling with it, trying to whip his way out of it. His powers were on the fritz. So, as a consequence, I believe, from the operation and the experimentation and stuff. And he's probably one of those old chestnuts of like, I don't like my powers, I don't want them, so I'm gonna stop believing in them, and now they'll stop working. But no, I loved Nicolas Cage's performance, like you guys have mentioned. Like, he's just so great in this, and just so much fun to watch. And I don't need more. Like, I think this is a great season, but it was really cute to see at the end the setup with Riley and Ruiz investigations on the door, and Janet getting a bit more agency. Get it, agency. Getting to earn her keep a bit more, and the fact that they kept on the kid too, I thought was really fun. I like the addition of that little kid. He was
urchin.
The urchin, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know. It was really glad to see Ben get to a good place, and for the spider to come back and really shine in that last episode, against the bad guys. It was great. Fully, what did you think of Ben Reilly and his return to the spider?
Yeah, that was actually quite quite cool. Like the fact that he went from this depressed man that didn't care about saving anyone but himself, and yeah, and then after getting experimented on is like, well, I don't want to go through this anymore. Like why should I be the one saving others, kind of a thing. To then turning his mindset to being like, oh yeah, well, I guess I'm not the one who's, suffering here with these powers. I guess, the people who are definitely would be more beneficial with it so that they can survive. So the way that he's kind of like this character development of Ben Reilly just kind of went in a more of a positive kind of a spin by the end of it, was really cool. Like I said, Nicolas Cage did a great job playing the role of Ben Reilly. I really enjoyed his performance, and yeah, it was just one of those things with Ben Reilly where I'm like, he's gotta have some inkling of good within him, like you can't be depressed forever. Like, yes, we get it. Like, you're grieving over the loss of your partner, and you're blaming yourself for not being able to save her life in that with those powers. But a spider in water does not survive.
Mm. You know that depression that you have, just get over it.
Yeah. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant.
I know.
But I'm glad that he has friends around him that support him and that was doing their best to get him out of that funk, out of that sort of depressive state, and believed in him as the Spider. So that was also really nice to see from those characters as well. There's the supporting roles. But yeah, by the end of it, seeing like that in that final episode, especially the man in the mask, was fascinating for that final battle. And I was a little worried the moment that Layden ended up, was it Layden or someone else ended up like tearing or smashing his face and half his mask kind of tore off. Like one of the lenses came off and then his mouth was revealed, and I'm like, oh, that is easily recognizable of someone's face, Mostly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And that final battle scene as well was actually very entertaining to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
The Act 3 fight scene.
Yeah, the Act 3 fight. Yeah, the mandatory superhero Act 3 fight scene. Yes.
Which I didn't mind. It was fun.
It was fun. Mike, do you have any thoughts on the conclusion of Ben Reilly's journey in this story?
Very nice story and definitely bookend. And it was actually great that I actually watched the first episode as well, because there's a lot of bookending the sort of where he is and where he's going to. Like the
That's cool.
With great power comes great responsibility, and the aversion to that. I don't want the power, so therefore I don't want the responsibility. And then he becomes the Spider-Man that we all know, or the Spider-Noir that we all know. Yeah, it was definitely a good piece. Do I want more? Possibly, but I would be happy for it just being a one and done. Having said that, then that means you can do whatever you want. I think a mythology series of tackling like different sort of spiders in different universes would be fun. Like for instance, punk rock spider. That would be awesome. Set in like a dystopia, England of Thatcher still being in charge and that sort of thing. That would be awesome. Yeah, I think you can go many places with that, and if you want to do more, then yeah, you can do more by having another case, not necessarily like we've seen the origin, so we've done the origin, so we can explore more into wherever we want to go. So
yeah, I kind of like the idea of like I feel like Spider-Verse has opened up so many doors and ideas for potential, spin-off movies or shows of other types of Spider-Verse characters. So that'd be really cool to see.
Yeah. Cartoon Spider-Ham. Like Looney Tunes, like Chuck Jones.
Yes.
Sort of thing.
I could definitely see that.
Tom and Jerry sort of thing. And yeah, that could be just an animation sort of thing. So and you get John Mulaney to do his thing. Yeah, an easy thing to do, but who knows? Really love Nick Cage in this. Definitely has the Nick Cageisms as well, especially when he's doing his drunk thing. It's like, I'm Spider. Just having fun. And yeah, what else? And yeah, just having a support base at the end of knowing where you are. He doesn't have to keep it a secret that he knows of, which is kind of an interesting take of, I've always known. Every time you're drunk, you tell me.
So funny.
I love
It's
that.
hilarious.
So
It's like,
funny.
yeah, I know.
I'm the spider.
I'm a spider.
Yeah, he's just hanging off the ceiling.
Oh,
Love it.
hilarious.
And I will buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one might come out on Blu-ray. Who knows?
Yeah. I'll buy it twice. One in blue. One in black and white.
Yeah. God, if this was at the height of physical media days, like they totally would do that.
Oh,
They would
yeah.
totally release
Absolutely.
one in color and one in black and white for sure.
Yeah.
Well, they did
Like
it-
they did with Deadpool.
Yeah. And they did the
So-
¿Por qué
same.
no les dos?
Yeah. Mexicano.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Do we have any other final thoughts before we wrap up? I think I've touched on everything that I really wanted to say about this. What about you guys?
Yeah, I think we've pretty much spoken about everything that I would have definitely wanted to mention. Like I said, nightmare fuel.
Just a little bit.
Great show, just a little bit of nightmare fuel. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for a show called Spider-Man, I could settle for less spiders.
Yes. Less spiders, please and thank you.
Yeah. It's like I don't need a reminder that he's Spider-Man. I already see that. It's fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to.
Yeah.
I like living in ignorance of what
Yes.
where his powers come from. Thanks.
The one bit, I don't know if I think it might have been in episode 6 when we get the flashback with Ben in the tent by himself, and he's realizing that he's got webs coming out of his wrists, and the way he was pulling at it, I'm like, ugh,
Yeah, it was a little gross.
Yeah. It's like picking
But
at a
fun.
scab.
I was thinking
Yeah.
something else, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. I'm like, no, this is gross. Okay. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
Great show.
So
Loved
does
it.
webs only come out of your
Yeah.
hands, or does it
Oh,
come out?
don't.
Anyway?
And
that
was a podcast called
well, I think that might actually be it. I think we're done.
Yeah.
I think so.
What better way to end than thinking about that? Cool. That was Popcorn Culture. Our thoughts on Spider-Noir episode 5, Betrayal, episode 6, Nightmare on a Gurney, episode 7, Nobody's Hero, and episode 8, The Man in the Mask. Good stuff. Great show. Thank you so much, Nicolas Cage and Sony Amy Pascal. I guess sometimes she does cool things, and it's wonderful.
Nick Cage for an Emmy. He needs an Emmy.
Yeah, give him something. Give
First
him some
Emmy.
recognition.
Mm.
Yeah, some recognition would be nice because he's doing the most in this one, and it's just
Yeah.
And he's
Fabulous.
getting on a bit. So
He is.
I was a bit
he's-
worried for that. I was like, yeah, he is a bit of an old man doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it
guess
would have
that's
been great this like 15 years ago or something.
Oh yeah.
Like peak,
Mm.
peak Cage.
Definitely. Like if it was around the Ghost Rider days, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Having said that,
Yeah.
as Nick Cage, would Nick Cage be in the Guinness World Records as the most comic book character player?
I mean, he'd definitely be in contention
Yeah,
for sure.
because he's Superman as well, and Ghost Rider,
Yeah, Superman, Ghost Rider, Spider-Noir. Yeah.
and Big Daddy
Big Daddy.
from Kick-Ass.
Yeah, yes, of course. Of course, Kick-Ass. Oh,
That's a comic book.
bless.
Comic book.
It is. It counts. All right, that's it for Popcorn Culture. That's it for the show for another week. Thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. Let's head on out. A 1, a 2, a 3.
And
that
that
was a
was a
podcast
podcast called
Fred.
Fred.
Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky for the latest Fred content.
If you'd like to listen to Freddie Alien, you can find us on SoundCloud, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. I remember it this time.
If you'd like to watch Fred the Alien, you can head over to youtube.com/Fred the Alien Productions. And if you're watching the VOD right now, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon to be notified of future content, and hop on over to our Twitch channel for our live streams of this show, twitch.tv/Fred the Alien Twitch.
Hell yeah. I've been a Kendall Richardson.
I've been a Fulya Kantarmaju.
And I've been the Lister Spider, Michael.
And you
just experienced
a
a
podcast,
podcast called
Fred.
Fred.
Remember to eat beef. Finish. Yes.
Damn you, One Piece TCG. And remember to look after yourself and your mental health.
Yes. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, ladies, gators,
And... See.